Welcome to this week's episode of the Dirt Subies podcast. We got an absolute heater for you this week. I think you're going to enjoy this convo with Josh, aka Subi Raptor. But real quick, make sure that if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel or following on the different podcast platforms, do me a favor, do that for me and then leave a comment. And make sure you're checking out the Subi and You podcast. There's tons of episodes over there that you can binge, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Dude, we got Josh here today. Subi Raptor, right? That's
what the name was given to me.
I love it. Okay, well, I was gonna ask, like, how'd that come up?
So I've been with the Rebelle Rally for the whole, since the year it started. So for all 10 years. First 5 years, I'd always have a truck, Ram truck. And then up until 5 years ago, my Cummins broke down. And I'm like, I'm going to build this Subaru. And I took it, and I've had the most fun past 5 years in this Subaru. So I think the second year I came, and, it's loud. I'm running, at that time I was just running old, a fart can on the back, just a cheap little muffler thrown on it. And so it was loud. And it got around quick. Like, I was able to set checkpoints and everything pretty quick. And so Jimmy Lewis, who's a big motorcycle guy, he's actually the course director of the Rebelle in the Off-Road Hall of Fame and everything. Like, just an awesome guy. But he's like, oh yeah, all these other course workers were running Ford Raptors, and I'm out there in a Subaru. So he just nicknamed, you're out there in the Subi Raptor. And so it just kind of stuck. And so that's kind of what it was known by. And I started, listening to, to the Subaru podcast and Subaru and You and yours. And I'm like, I'm going to make an Instagram for my car, and I've only had like a month. And,
wait, it's new?
Been going good. Yeah. I've only had it literally a month, I think.
What the heck?
Yeah. Okay. I haven't had it a whole long time. I was like, why would anyone want to see an Instagram about my car? So, yeah, and I think I'm like right on like 900 followers. Like, I'm like, this is nuts.
That's sick.
My wife was like, she's like, oh, geez. I'd show her all the time, send her screenshots. Oh, I'm up to 500 followers, 600 followers.
But, yeah, social media is an absolute time suck, but I really enjoy. 15 years ago when I first kind of started messing around with cars, it was like you really had to sift through forums, and you had to know people locally in order to really do anything. Oh, yeah. Now it's like I can talk to people on the other side of the world about cars,
Yeah, and it's cool because like the first few episodes, I listened to yours. I didn't know that it was recording and that there was video with it, so I was just kind of listening to it, and you'd hear the names. So I'd hit on their Instagram and find out like I'm already following them. I'm like, oh, that's cool, but you can kind of put a car to a face to a name. So
yeah. So
yeah,
dude, how did you find? Because I'm guessing you found the Subi and You podcast first, because he's been doing it way longer. But how did you find that?
That was kind of, I think, Carrie Lando put something up, and I messaged her right away. I'm like, how have you not told me about the Subi and You podcast? And she's all, what? How do you not know about the Subi and You podcast? So yeah, I just started listening to that, and then I saw, I think actually, just on Instagram, like your podcast came up. I like it from Raf's like point of view, how he's, because I'm haven't listened to all of his episodes yet, of course. Just starting to listen to it, but he started out being kind of new to Subaru, buying his Crosstrek, and be like, hey, I'm going to start a podcast. And so it's kind of been cool listening to him kind of grow in Subaru as well as, and then with yours kind of doing it for a while and kind of seeing like a different perspective is really cool how the two podcasts are kind of different ends of the spectrum. So
yeah. No, it's so I usually just lean on the guest's expertise because I know just enough to get myself in a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? I'm way worse at drawing out the storyline stuff from people the way that Raph does. He's way more organized. I just get off work, open up my laptop, turn on the mic, and then we roll. But
that's a cool aspect, definitely too. But yeah, it was, it's been kind of, like I'm, driving to and from work and just, throw on a podcast. So there's not like a whole lot I can just, listen to like a few hours straight and stuff, but it's just kind
Yeah.
of nice, listening to them and getting through them. But yeah, so I mean, so that's how, Subaru Raptor got its name. It's definitely more Jeep parts put on the Subaru than Ford Raptor parts. So I mean, if anything, it'd be like the Subaru Eep or something. But
Yeah, yes, sir. It's funny. Yeah, when I first saw your Instagram, because you messaged me,
yeah, telling
like
you,
over a month ago.
yeah,
You're
like
like, yeah, I'm
the
listening to the podcast. I was like, oh man, writing the
yeah,
feelers, dude. Thank you.
yeah.
But it's cool to hear that that's how the name came up, because my first thought was like, oh, I wonder if he also owns a Ford Raptor, if that
No,
has something to
actually,
do with a Ford Raptor.
I own a Ram. It's kind of like a faux TRX.
Hey, nothing wrong, dude. Have you driven a TRX before?
I've ridden in one at the rally. They weren't when I stopped working at Chrysler. It was just kind of when they were first just kind of being released. So I never actually got a be one and take that delivery to inspection
Yeah.
in or anything like that. But yeah, I've
They're
ridden in one,
hectic.
and yeah, they're nuts.
Yeah,
But
well, it's so we'll get into this a little bit, but you
yeah.
did some filming with Top Gear, and then I
Mm-hmm.
actually helped. I don't know if you watch VinWiki or like Hoovie's Garage or Car
Mm-hmm.
Trek at all, but I helped them film an episode of that.
Oh,
And
cool. Yeah.
the guy that sort of manages all the cinematography for that, he had a TRX for a while.
Yeah.
And that's what he had when we were out there. We've become real good friends since. Now, I don't even know how many cars later he is now. I mean, the guy owned like a Ferrari 308 for a while. Just,
Oh
he,
yeah.
he's done well for himself.
Yeah.
And yeah, in the TRX, I was like, bro, this thing is, you could stomp on pretty much any tuner on the streets in this
Oh
bad boy
yeah.
on
Yeah.
35s.
The only thing I wish is that you could, take them out of all-wheel drive and just go rear and
Yes.
just go for it. But
I hate those full-time T cases, bro.
yeah, yeah.
Can't stand them. Well, let me ask you about the Rebelle Rally, since you
Mm-hmm.
touched on that. Can you I have somewhat of an understanding of it, but can you kind of lay out for people who've maybe never heard of it what it is? And then uh, I think it's real interesting that you've been with it since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Can
Mm-hmm.
you kind of talk about those early days, how it got started as well?
Yeah, for sure. So the Rebelle Rally is an all female competitor navigation rally. So I kind of explain it like it's kind of like a giant like scavenger hunt. So there's green checkpoints, blue checkpoints, and black checkpoints. Green checkpoints are kind of the ones that are manned by like me, who is a course official. I'm also like the on trail technician. Um, and so, I mean, those ones are kind of set. Like, it's all analog. They get a paper map. They get, they get plots. They have to plot out their own. They have a compass, a ruler, make all their plots, um, and set up these checkpoints throughout the day. So, like the green checkpoints are kind of set strategically to kind of move competitors throughout the course. Kind of like time frame saying, hey, you got to be you know here between this time and this time, but there's all these blue and black checkpoints in between that you need to try to get. And if you miss your time, then you have to go to the following green and not get any of the checkpoints in between.
What if,
So I mean, it's kind of tough
yeah,
for
what
sure.
now, is it like ARA rally where can you be early?
No, so like I
Okay.
have, some of the, top people, being, Carrie and Andrea with the
Yeah.
Subi this year. Um, they were in the front of the pack most of the time, and so they'd show up, and that'd be the only time I'd be able to talk to them and hang out while they're waiting for their green to open so they could click
Okay.
it and keep moving on.
Okay.
Um,
Gotcha.
so yeah, I mean it's like, but you kind of have to prove, okay, well we can get, 10 points over here, it's going to be a little farther, or we can go over here and get, two or three or 4 points. So I mean, they kind of have to choose like, okay, we can get that, but we can't get all of them. So I mean, that's
Okay.
why it takes these, navigators who have been doing it a while to really be like, oh, we can get that. I mean, just like the driver and the navigator, like meshing. I mean, you can be the best driver in the world, but if you don't have a navigator who knows what they're doing, like, you're going to end up in Las Vegas. So, which
Exactly.
we've had a couple get pretty close. So,
Now, where does it take place? Actually, I should ask that.
it's usually it usually always starts the first few years. It started up in Lake Tahoe, started
Okay.
out in Tahoe. It always comes down into Nevada and like the Hawthorne, you know, that area, and then drops down back into California. We usually go around like the Johnson Valley area, Dove Springs, all that, and then used to always end in Glamis. Like that's where it was. Few years like the end of the year party, the gala was in San Diego, but then after COVID, we've always just done it at the final course, the final base camp,
Okay.
which has up until the past couple of years has always been in Glamis, but the year
Now,
before last was ended in Johnson Valley, and then this last year ended at Pirate Cove in Needles. So that was pretty cool because it was a little closer to home for me. So
yeah, and which state is that in?
Needles or I live in Arizona. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
like Needles. Where's that at?
Needles is in California, right on the
Okay,
border. Yeah,
okay.
right.
And
So
what's maybe the total distance that the drivers and navigators are
I
traversing?
think it's. See, that always confused me because they're always like say it in kilometers, but
Yeah, right.
I'm
I don't speak
American, so
Canadian.
but it's always roughly like 1,500 miles. Like I mean, you cover a lot of ground. The
Yeah,
actual
that's impressive.
competition days are 7 to 8 days of actual competition. So yeah, usually every year I rack up you know 2,000, 2,500 miles on the Subaru round trip. So
That's
uh,
tight.
yeah, but that's really all like the major driving that the Subaru gets. So
Okay.
um, yeah, I tend to after you live in it for 10 days straight, like I'm like, I want my
Get,
truck, I want
gets a
to
little
stretch
gross too.
out, and yeah, it always carries that certain kind of smell when you're living
Yep.
out in the desert for a week.
How did that get started? Were you involved in starting it, or did they was it people that were already organizing it that brought you in? What did
Yeah, it
the
was the creator of it is Emily Miller. She's amazing. She's also getting inducted to the Off-Road Hall of Fame. She used to rally with Rod Hall. I mean, just incredible. Everything that she does, and really, made this huge event. That first couple of years were like, man, like I don't know how long this is gonna last. Like it's we're mechanicking out of a U-Haul truck that we took out into the middle of the desert, and with some easy ups with some rope lights on it,
you got to
to
do what
go
you
to
got to do,
this.
man.
I mean, now we have a big double decker tongue pull, like 40-foot trailer. With a lift in it, and we don't use the lift for actual lifting cars or anything, but just for storage. We're sponsored by Milwaukee. We're sponsored by
Nice.
Pennzoil. So I mean,
Okay.
it's huge. We're sponsored by Yeti coolers, Pirelli tires. Like it's nuts, man. Everything that we kind of you know the way that what it's came to.
Yeah,
But
yeah. And you're a technician for the rally. What
yeah,
does that look like? What are your days typically look like? Are you only working on cars? Are you doing other stuff
no, I
related to the
mean,
rally or
since I'm a course official, as well as the on trail tech, we set the blues. So again, get back to like the checkpoints. The blues are they're marked. They're either a flag or a pole. So they're kind of something that they can see that is physically evident to them that there's a checkpoint there. Whether it's their checkpoint or just one that we set up to try to trick them, I mean that's for them to decide.
that's
Yeah,
diabolical.
sometimes you get a lot of some disgruntled
Choice
competitors at
words.
night sometimes when they see that they're in the wrong location, and our camera crew, and like man they could be hiding and you'd never know that pictures are being taken. It's really really cool. So I mean, they capture that. They capture all the mad faces, the tears, the cheers, everything.
Those
Um,
telephoto lenses, man, they're magic, bro.
yeah, yeah. um, so we got to go and set up all those those blues in the morning usually, before competitors start, because competitors are off the line at like 7 a.m. So yeah, so we'll get up at the course crew 5 a.m., head out. I mean, sometimes it's within a span to 200 miles for a day. So I mean, either we'll jump on the highway, hop far ahead, which is also all done by the our course director, to kind of plan where everyone needs to be. So yeah, so we got to do that. So the average day, wake up at 5, head out, and then so they'll come through my green. Usually I'm around the start or the middle. Everyone, I'll kind of just sit around for 6 to 8 hours, and then they'll all go through, and then we just kind of what we call run and sweep, and just kind of follow with the trackers and just make sure everyone kind of herds everyone in. So sometimes I'm not back till 9. I think I've been as late as like 10 o'clock at night getting back into camp. So it's definitely long days. And then if people break stuff, then we're working on stuff at camp. We've had some broken axle housings that are completely snapped in half. We've replaced engines. We've done a clutch and a cross trek at Glamis. So we did a transmission in FJ80 this year. So it's kind of
So
sometimes it's different.
FJ80s
It's a
do
long night.
break.
Yeah, yeah. That transmission just gave out, and this team, I think the past 3 or 4 years before this, they've gone out with a '77 Bronco.
Okay.
So I mean, and they just every year like they would upgrade what broke the last year. Every year, like something new would
Something
break.
else.
So this year, we're like, "Oh, you brought an FJ80. Like, we're not even going to
Bulletproof.
see you." And then, like the first night, the transmission gave out. I'm like, oh.
It probably had
And
400,000 miles on it, though, dude.
oh
Those
yeah,
poor
yeah,
things. People run them
yeah, for
half a
sure.
million miles.
But then, like how we sourced a transmission, like I think our mechanics director, he just kind of made a Facebook post and said, "Hey, we need this transmission," and they worked out someone to deliver it. The 300 miles it took to bring it to us, and we started tearing it out. It ended up being the wrong transmission, so then it sat another night, while we sourced another transmission and got it, but we got it in, and they ended up finishing the rally. The thing with like the rally is it's more of just working through and kind of just getting through it.
Just finishing.
I mean, there's definitely some people, Carrie included, that are there to win. I mean, and want to win every day, but also they have a blast. But other people are just like this is something I've seen, I want to do, and it's a fight like every day. But just the relief you see after they hit that and go through that finish line is pretty cool. So yeah, it's definitely something. And like I said, from from what it started out, they're setting up these huge like circus tents in the middle of the desert for our main tent. Full like gourmet food the entire time. Like we got this guy Drew Deckman. I mean, he's a Michelin chef, man. He's
Dude, that's what's up.
food. Yeah, you eat good there for sure. I mean, they make sure that the mechanics are fed when we're out there wrenching, and all hours of the night. They make sure they bring us food, and like I said, it's incredibly good the entire time. And he's been with us all 10 years too, Drew. So I think there's about 15 of us that have been there all 10 years, I believe, maybe more. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but
Okay.
yeah, so it's definitely kind of like the Rebelle family for sure.
How many teams on average over the last,
Yeah.
3 or 4 years, what's the landscape look like there?
First few years there was like 30 teams. I think there was 62 teams this year. Like, I mean,
That's sick.
it's
Okay.
I think that's what it was. So yeah, it's pretty, it's grown quite a bit, and there's also manufacturers are getting into it. Like Jeep's
Mm-hmm.
been with us for a long time. This was the first year that Kerry got Subaru to really get in and put teams and sponsor full teams in. So that's awesome, because I've said from the beginning, I don't know why Subaru is not in this, especially like in their
Yeah.
wilderness platform. I mean, it's perfect. We had Rivian for a while, all electric.
Okay.
So we had hydrogen powered generators out there, charging them up every night, doing a charge stop throughout the day. And Rivians, man, those, if you want power, dude, like, just nuts. I rode in that in Glamis, and it was insane.
They cook, man. The
Yeah.
49% owner of the company I work for,
Mm-hmm.
her husband he loves anything that's electric. He loves
Yeah.
it. He's a pretty highly trained surgeon, and so he's just kind of into anything that has to do with technology.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, those Rivians, I think they got one of the first ones that were available, and
Yeah. Yeah.
they love them,
There's
dude.
something else, man.
Yeah, yeah. If I was gonna buy an electric car, it'd be one
Oh,
of those.
100%.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd have to sell a kidney or something.
Oh,
But
yeah. Yeah.
what is I don't know, maybe like either the craziest or most frustrating thing that you've had to work with, like horror story, trying to get somebody back into the rally.
I mean,
I mean,
sad to say it, there was one lady in a Subaru one year, and I'm pretty sure she put like twice as many miles on that Subaru as any other competitor. And she was just, I mean, we still to this day, like, if we got someone going off trail, we'll still
yeah,
call out her number. But yeah, she was just one. It was a day. She was coming through Glamis, and one of the guys said, "Hey, where's your bumper?" And she's like, "What?" Had this full, like, I mean, built like metal. It was a nice metal bumper, and he's like, "Yeah, you don't have a bumper anymore." And I mean, and it had the high lift jack and everything up above it. Like, I don't know how you couldn't see that it wasn't there. And yeah, she sure walked around and she's like, "It was there." So yeah,
what?
it was just gone. I think she just hit a dune and just ripped it out. Like, I don't know, but yeah, that was probably one. That was also the year that I got the most stuck I've ever been in my '03 Ram 1500, and I had to pull my winch line out. And I mean, you're at Glamis. There's sand everywhere. Like,
Yeah,
there's
no
not
trees.
really, unless you have a dead man pull, which the owner of that guy, awesome guy. So shout out to Dead Man Off Road. Um, but I just had found the smallest little shrub I could find, pulled my winch line out at the bottom of this this big dune that I'm teetering on, tied it up, had my hand outside the window, and we got like 40-mile-an-hour sandstorm going on. So I'm just hitting it and just pull the truck around and just barely get out of it, and I don't know how. And but made me think about that, because I picked up this big metal bar that I thought was her bumper at first when I saw it. So I threw it in the back of my truck, and then the guy, I had one of the rescue guys with us from Rescue 3, and he's like, "Well, I think there's some people over here." I'm like, "Man, those are bad dunes over there. We don't want to go over there." He's like, "No, I think we just come up there and it's right there." Well, I end up getting in a witch's eye, which is just a giant sand bowl,
Okay,
and
okay.
so I'm like, "Man, I don't know. Like, I can't slow down, or we're not gonna get out." So I just kind of wrapped around this bowl and just launched out of it. I mean, just sent this ram just in the air. And so, like, the rescue guy, he went up, smacked his head on the roof. But when we landed, that bar just came right through the back window of my truck, and so that was the most. I'd say probably the most carnage I've done on my personal vehicles. I've done a
That's
little
great.
bit to the Subaru, but not
Yeah.
not a whole lot.
Yo, I think people forget trucks are so much different when you're running them in
Oh yeah.
sand or snow or off road because they're so heavy. It's a completely different game than, like our Forester, because I have an SG
Yeah.
also, or even my XJ. My XJ is
Oh yeah.
massive,
Yeah.
but it weighs nothing because it's unibody, Yeah, dude, a big Ram pickup. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you got mud terrains, doesn't matter
Yeah.
what you're running. You'll get stuck a lot faster than you think if you're not
Yeah.
careful. And speed is definitely your friend.
Yeah, yeah. So then, like 2 years after that, then that's when I took my '06 Mega Cab Cummins and took it romping through the sand. But then that year, actually, um, I lost second gear out of that 48 RE transmission day 2 in the rally. So I went the whole rest of the rally just skipping over second gear.
Manual
But it did
transmission or
good. No, the
okay.
automatic. But yeah, it
The
just
clutches wore out.
yeah, it just it was
Yeah.
that's a terrible transmission. That ended up being why I rebuilt that transmission 3 times and it just kept overheating. All billet stage 3 kit. And it
Just
just
poor
kept
design.
overheating. So that's
Okay.
actually how I ended up buying my first Subaru was an
Okay.
'03 Forester. Transmission went out in the Cummins, so I'm like, man, I just need something that I can take my time, build the transmission up on the truck, and just drive around. So I was looking
Yeah.
through, saw some, now, some friends of mine, they were selling a little '03 Forester manual transmission. They bought it for their son. They actually knew the original owner um, from Flagstaff, Arizona, and
Okay.
he just didn't want to learn how to drive stick. So
Yeah.
they got rid of it. I picked it up for $1,500. It had 310,000 miles on it, dude. Everything, because the guy had receipts for every single maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Never had head gaskets. It all original. The thing, engine, transmission, everything was original on it. Everything that when it did go bad, it got replaced. And just a great little car. And I'm like, man, I can probably lift that and go take it off road. I got a hunt coming up, so let me let me go lift this thing so I can go take it out in the woods.
Heck.
And so that was the first time I kind of started looking through price tags on lift kits. So I'm like, man, I spent $1,500 on this car. Like I can't spend $600 on a lift kit.
Yeah.
So I mean, I made this. I think I cut some steel pipe about 3 inches and then put steel, just flat strap, 3-inch flat strap, kind of made a triangle out of it and threw it on. And to this day, it still has that lift kit on it. And that's been 7 years. It hasn't driven in the last year because the transmission finally went out on it for the buddy that I sold it to. But yeah, I mean, I would just take that thing anywhere, just bashing through everything, and like I just couldn't kill it. So that's when I was like, man, I'm gonna take one of these on the rally. I mean, not one with 300,000 miles on it, but I ended up picking up my '05 from a friend of mine. Just an awesome guy. He first started working for Subaru in 1980. So he's like one of the old pioneers, and he has I think he told me, I just called him before I got on with you just to fact check a little bit, but he's got, I think he said he has 60 Subaru titles sitting in his filing cabinet right now.
Where does he live at?
Right here in Cottonwood with me, like
Oh, that's
next to
tight.
Sedona here. So I mean, just he owns a little gas station, and I
Okay.
mean everyone knows him as the Subaru guy. I'm hoping like someday I'll kind of take that title over. But if anyone's got a Subaru problem, I mean, if you say, oh, the guy with all the Subarus, I mean, they know exactly who you're talking about. He has, I think, 4 Bratz, He's got a ton of Loyals. I think the most what he has is Outbacks, like that kind of that second
Okay.
gen
Yeah, dude.
Outback.
96 to 99.
He's got 2 Bajas. Yeah, I mean, just a few Foresters. He's looking to clear the herd a little bit.
You might have
So
to
if
help him.
anyone's looking for some old Subaru parts, just hit me up.
That's sick.
But yeah, I mean, he just kind of had my Forester just kind of sitting out in the weeds. And I have some pictures on my Instagram of it. How I got it. Yeah, just out in the in the weeds. It actually only had 97,000 miles on it. But he said, and what sounded like that it had a really bad rod knock. And later to find out, after I replaced the engine, it was just that lower timing belt bearing just went out, and just was smacking around. So actually, I ended up putting that engine in his sister's Outback. So yeah, so as far as I know, that thing's still driving around.
That's funny you say that. I hear that all the time. I see people say, "Oh, I get rod knock, but only when it's cold."
Yeah,
and it's just that hydraulic tensioner doesn't have pressure when it's cold, and it starts to clack.
This one actually, the bottom bearing, like a pull of the pulley, the bearing actually came apart, and so it was actually kind of wallowing around and smacking. Like, I mean, and it jumped like 3 teeth, so I mean, it sounded like, oh, this thing gone. But so no, it's actually good. So could have saved a little bit of money if I didn't have to buy the $2,500 reman engine. But it's worth it. It's actually my engine's actually an STI block, so it's a closed deck block.
Okay.
And it's got a mild cam grind on it. Okay. The builder said should be around 210 horse at the crank. It definitely has a lot more pull at the higher RPMs. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it really starts waking up about like 3,500. It kind of moves. So it moves those 29-inch tires a little bit better. So,
well, could you tell us a little bit about that car? I know it's not your first Subaru, but it's kind of your main Subaru now. So what is it, and what kind of mods have you done to the thing?
So it's just a base model 05 Forester XS 5-speed manual. So I mean, the thing was actually like in really, really good shape. I mean, it was like most Subarus you find in the weeds, smells like patchouli and has dog hair all over it. But so the inside was definitely rough. But it was just a good solid car. I mean, Arizona car, so there's not a spot of rust on it. Yeah. Just a solid platform to start from. So I mean, really, it was just started out as just me building a lift kit for it. I love everything that your buddy from ADF is doing. But
he's a maniac, dude.
I got a wife and 4 kids, so I mean, if I would say, hey, honey, I'm gonna spend $800 on a lift kit, yeah, I could build it, but
she's not gonna go for that.
So I built my lift kit, same lift kit I'm still running for the past 5.5 years. 2 flat pieces of plate, with a piece of steel tube. Actually, all stuff. I work at a cement plant now, so it's just like scrap steel that we had lying around, so it was probably
free
on some gas line or something like that. So yeah, so now it's on my car. So
were you able to do like a camber offset? Were you able to build that in?
I didn't. I'm still like wanting to try to put that in, but I've never really had like an issue. So right now, those spacers, I have a actual 3.5 inch in the front, and it's fine. I don't go through axles. I mean, I throw a boot like once every 2 years. Like they're on rotation. So next year I'll do the left side, and then the following year I'll do the right side.
So you might not be the type of person that is able or willing to build your own lift kit for your Subaru. And if you're like me and you just want to buy one that's good and you're going to know that it's already going to work, my friends over at Anderson Design and Fabrication are proud sponsors of this podcast, and I'm super thankful for that because I've been using their parts for probably about a decade. The way that they are sponsoring what we're doing over here is by giving you guys a 5% off discount. And all you got to do to take advantage of that is go over to their website, awdadventure.com, and use the code DIRTSUBIES at checkout. That'll give you 5% off lift kits, ditch light brackets, skid plates, and a bunch of other good hard goods. Massive shout out to them. It's a huge honor for me to have them as a sponsor. So make sure that if you're in the market for a lift kit, that you go over there and check it out. And if you're not in the market for a lift kit, just pass this along to a friend that you know is in the market. Help them save a little bit of money and support the podcast.
I haven't had any issues, knock on wood.
That is actually crazy. 3.5 inches, no subframe drop in the front.
Nope.
Are your struts blown out or something? That's crazy.
No. Yeah, I have I'll get to the struts because I have a story about that one too.
All right.
And then so the rear, I actually have an inch subframe drop on the rear. And I only have an 1.5 inch spacer, but I'm running Ironman 4x4 overloads in the back. So they're probably not at that level anymore. But so I did for Black Friday, just ordered some Rally Tech. So I got Rally Tech overloads for front and rear.
Yeah, that's a way better spring
coming in. So I think I'll like it because I'm running a rear sway bar because I'd get going quick, in the desert, and it would just the back end would get a little squirrely and carries like it shouldn't be. Throw some Rally Tech in there overloads and you won't need a sway bar. So I'm hoping that's the case. So I can ditch the sway bar again.
Yeah, those things hate not having a sway bar in the rear.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hate it.
So that was the first year, and then I built I built a 2-inch trailing arm spacer. Just made that actually with Jeep JK control arms. I just cut that and used the square rectangle tubing off those Jeep JKs, the Wranglers. Actually, because everyone would replace all those, so I have just piles and piles of those JK
Sick.
control arms, factory Rubicon control arms.
The bushings just go bad real quick.
No, they just everyone thinks, I got to get Heim joints, I got to get these big
that's
kits.
right.
So
they're just stamped steel.
So they just pull them off, put either adjustable ones on or just something heavier duty. But factory Jeep parts are extremely heavy duty for Subaru. So
absolutely, yeah, especially just for a trailing arm bracket.
Yeah. So that's what I have. So that was the first year. That's really all I had, and took it out. It did great. I first rolled up to the rally in a Subaru, and they're used to me driving these big old trucks. And they're like, "What the heck are you doing? Did that come in the back of your truck, or where is it?" And I said, "No, that's what I have this year." And they're like, "Dude, where are we supposed to send you? We can't send you anywhere." And I'm all, just wait. And Jimmy Lewis and all those, just blown away. They're like, "Dude, how'd you get there already?" Like, man, because I can go 70 miles an hour down this dirt road, and
no solid axles.
I don't have to slow down. I'm pretty much in a side-by-side out here. So,
yeah. Well, what's your wheel and tire setup on that thing?
So like I say, we're sponsored by Pirelli. So I'm running a 235 70 16 Pirelli Scorpion all-terrain plus. It's really been a really good tire. And I've talked to the Pirelli reps, and they know that the only downfall of that tire is the sidewall. They're a very thin sidewall. I've only gone through one tire though, and I've gotten 3 sets of 5 through the last 5 years.
Nice.
But yeah, one of my set is on a Forester out here that I built for a friend of mine. I have a brand new set sitting in the shed still. So, I think this set that I have on right now, I've had the same set for the past 3 years.
Okay.
So, now, they're a decent tire for sure.
That tire, Pirelli's or the Scorpion line is super slept on, in my opinion. They don't push them hard enough. because it's a
Yeah.
great tire.
Yeah. I mean, they're more of street. I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That specific tire, is that made to be like a CUV type all-terrain, kind of like the Falcon Wild Peak AT Trail?
It's more like my size tire. That's the
Mm-hmm.
smallest that tire comes in.
Oh, wow.
So that's
Okay.
why I actually wanted to go like
15.
Maybe a 225. I mean, I wanted the
Okay.
16 because I just run Outback rims.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my buddy has like a whole closet full of just those same exact Outback rims. That when I cracked one, and so I'm like, hey Richard, I need another rim. He's all okay, tosses me another rim, and I'm all set. I am running 1.5-inch wheel spacers in the front and 2-inch wheel spacers in the back.
Okay, I was going to ask about that.
What I've noticed is the fronts are they are like a 1/2 inch, a little wider from the factory is what it kind of looks like. So that's why I run the bigger, because they sit pretty even right now.
Okay.
So I run wheel spacers. Again, never had an issue.
Because that and just for people who are listening who might want to do something similar, you need the wheel spacers to keep the tire away from the spring perch, correct?
Oh, correct. Yes. Yeah. Because if you didn't run in a factory, offset rim, you're going to be rubbing that spring perch, especially in the front. And that's also how you can tell if you've bent a strut, is if that clearance gets a little less.
Ask me how I know.
Yep. Which leads me to my strut story. So the first year I took it, there was a big storms throughout that year, so there was a lot of washouts, along the trails. So you'd be blasting down, road, 60 miles an hour, and then there's just no road there. So when your struts, when your tire comes up really fast to the car, those struts just tend to kind of kick in. So I bent 3 out of the 4 struts that first year. I mean, it wasn't anything. I have a picture of me putting a jack in between the body and the strut and just jacking out and straightening it out. So that was also on like day 2 of the rally. So then I went the rest of the rally with bent struts. But it made it. Like, I made it all the way back, all those 1,500 miles back. Drove all the way home from Yuma to back to Cottonwood. So
little hot boy camber never hurt anybody.
So that's when it leads me to after. I'm like, man, like there's got to be some way to make these things stronger. So I went on, to one of my local parts house, eBay, and ordered some struts.
As one does.
I mean, $68 a piece for,
let's go.
Just some knockoff struts. And I went, again to the scrap pile at work and got a piece of tube that, a little bit bigger diameter than the cylinder of the strut.
Sleeved them?
Yeah, cut it in half, sandwiched them.
Boop.
So you're not welding on the actual cylinder of the strut. You're welding on that pipe that you just put around it. Did that. Put 2 gussets on the bottom. Welded them to the right above the the bolt holes for the knuckle mount.
I think I saw this on your Instagram.
Yeah, and then made another little gusset up on top to go to the spring perch. And I've been running those same struts for 4 years. The rear, I just sandwiched it and then put a piece of angle iron down that down the main cylinder of the strut. And like I said, no bent struts past 4 years. Oh, they're good to go.
That's tight.
I'm trying to debate on if this next year I should get a new set of custom eBay struts and
have
before
a backup.
I put those Rally Tech on, but
not a bad idea.
I don't know.
Not a bad idea.
I can always throw those ones on my daughter's car. So
there you go.
She's got an 04 Impreza Outback Sport. She just turned 16, so she's been driving that around.
That's such a nice car.
Yeah, I put 05 Forester struts on it. I actually lifted it about 3 inches. And she just loves that thing. Actually, just heard her drive by. She just got home, so I put exhaust on it. I told her that's my see if she's trying to sneak away. I was hear her coming and going. Um,
That's brilliant.
yeah, but yeah, so I got she had a summer job. She bought her own Falcons. She got the trails, which she
Mhm.
shouldn't be doing anything too major. There's a
That's a
215 65/16.
that's a good tire, man. I tell people all the
But
time, as long
yeah,
as you're not going to subject the sidewalls to anything,
for
it's
sure.
going to get you where you need to go.
And what I've kind of noticed, like I said, with the Pirellis, they do have that kind of weak sidewall. The new one that they just came out with, I believe it's the XTM, Pirelli Scorpion. They kind of fixed that problem. We only had, I think, one failure on the rally this year of someone running that tire, and that was a kind of a freak accident. Um, but driving a Subaru kind of, in my opinion, makes you kind of a better driver, because I mean you got to pick your lines.
Yes.
You got to kind of choose wisely. I mean, sometimes I'm definitely like, man, there's no way I'm getting up this, and I get up it. Like it's kind of crazy, but
Yeah. It's funny you say that because I've said that so many times because I never did off-roading. I got into the whole thing just because of
yeah.
hiking.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
remember when I first got, I did get to a point where I was like, okay, I do want to do real off-roading
Yeah.
and that type of thing. And so when I bought the Jeep, I was like, oh, dude, like I know
Yeah.
exactly how
Yeah.
to do this.
For
But man, I'm
sure.
looking at that XTM. That's a good looking tire. It's
Yeah, dude, they're really nice, and we
oh,
kind of helped with like the launch of that tire.
okay.
Like they kind of made it, because I mean,
With
two
your
years ago, there's
input.
the one year that I took a sidewall out. We were up in Northern California,
Okay.
in this big like obsidian field. So I mean, there's just obsidian
Oh, that'll
everywhere,
do
and
it.
I just kind of got a little close and just got my sidewall,
Mm-hmm.
and then probably the most aggressive driving I had to do in the Subaru was that same year, shortly after I just sliced the tire. And I went down this one washed out road, and it was just full on like boulders, kind of rock crawling. I mean, somewhere no Subaru, I mean, should ever be. And
That
I'm
I
like,
like that.
I'm glad I put rock sliders on this thing because I'm going to be using them.
Yeah.
So speaking about that with the rock sliders, those are actually JK uh, Wrangler Rubicon
Okay.
rock sliders that I cut down and put
Yeah.
on there. I can actually lift up my car with them. They're pretty solid, and they stay kind of nice with the body line, and kind
Okay.
of they kind of don't really know they're there unless you look.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you mount those? Because I'm guessing you welded some custom brackets on or welded them straight to the
yeah,
unibody.
they're
Did
they're
you?
not welded. They're bolted on, so I could
Okay.
remove them. There was one kind of like um, mount underneath, kind of under like the driver's door, kind of by like the kick panel down there. That
Okay.
was already a hole for like if you tie them down, they have that little
Yeah.
spot that they can tie down to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually put a nut in there, welded a nut that
Perfect little
actually went
captive
with
nut.
like one of those factory Rubicon mounts. And then I went and kind of put a piece of angle iron down the pinch weld and bolted into the pinch weld. So
Okay.
yeah, they're on there pretty solid for sure.
That's sick.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, I have a lot of Jeep parts on my Subaru, and I'm still not done yet. Still have another one that I've modified for it. Um,
What's that? You gotta
so
break the
so
news
after
here.
I built the struts, another one of my friends who actually I think we asked how I got started in the rally. Well, I was working at Chrysler, and I have a background. I was at Hyundai. I was a master tech with Hyundai for 8 years. I've always had Toyota. I used to restore old Toyota Land Cruisers for a company in Flagstaff. So I had like a big import background. And she first
Okay.
heard about the rally, and they were looking for mechanics. And she said, "Well, there's everything here, and you kind of know every different you know genres of
Platform.
vehicles." So that's how she got me into it. She got introduced me to the creator of the rally, and I've just been there ever since. So yeah, she owns a Jeep rental place in Sedona, and she had one in Moab, but I don't think the Moab one is open anymore.
She do the pink Jeeps?
No, she has a Barlow Jeep Rentals in Sedona.
Okay.
Her name's Nina Barlow.
Okay.
Amazing off-road trainer, and just has been around it for forever. So she always had, extra Jeep parts lying around. So she gave me JK front lower control arm adjustable, like tubular control arms. So they kind of have, they're not Heims, but they had, big kind of beefy bushings.
Yeah, just the Dom tubing.
Yeah, and I originally got them from her because I'm like, hey, I want to build, a spare tire carrier. Like, do you have anything with Heim joints or anything to make a swing? And she's like, yeah, I got a couple, track bars, and then I have these control arms. And I'm like, okay, cool. So they're laying there, and I'm just, those really look like they have like the same angle, same bend as the real trailing arms in the Forester. And sure enough, I took one out of the Forester, set it next to that. Right. I mean, it's an identical bend. Like it's insane. I'm like, man, like now I just got to get it to, to mount to the bottom of the knuckle. And so I measured it, and it's, a 2-inch diameter. So I had an extra trailer hitch just laying there. I'm like, hey, well, that's 2-inch. So I cut it and kind of cut one half or one end of it off, made a C, and it fits right around it. Welded it to the trailing arm. Now my trailing arm. Bolted it up, fully adjustable. I can bring that back tire in or out however I want. So.
That is sick. Yeah. I remember seeing that now.
And they're crazy beefy, so I mean, like they're way overkill for sure.
Yeah. So speaking of modifying cars, one of the most overlooked things that I notice are things like batteries and proper battery mounting. And I am super thankful and honored to have Melee Design Firm as a sponsor of the Dirt Subies podcast. And the way that they're doing that is by giving you a 10% off discount just for being a listener. All you got to do to get that discount is go to meleedesignfirm.com and use code DIRTSUBIES at checkout. That'll get you 10% off batteries, battery mounts, battery tie downs, engine bay caps. So if you're wanting to dress up your engine bay a little bit, I actually have their full engine bay cap set in my daily driver. I got the wrinkle red, but you can get whatever color you like. Their stuff is really well made, small batch, and not every broccoli head hot boy in a WRX is already gonna have this stuff on their cars. So go show some appreciation and some love if you're in the market for that type of stuff, and make sure you use that code to save yourself a little bit of money. Let's jump back into this episode. I have 2 questions I want to ask you right off the top of my head before I forget. These are completely unrelated, but I wanted to ask you real briefly. We talked about the wheel spacers, but what other tire fitment things did you kind of have to go through? I know there's a lot of sledgehammer action that has to happen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you kind of gotta beat the crap out of the firewall, for the face of your tire when it comes in, because it hits that firewall, and I mean sort of the inside too. One big fix for that, going to the STI control arms in the front. It gives you just that kind of that bit, just moves that tire up. I actually think I have pictures of it on there. Yeah. But I think it moves it like a half an inch forward. So you painted
yours are painted blue, right?
They have that. So everything, that's kind of my signature thing, because the Rebelle Rally, like they're kind of like that baby blue. So I mean, I'm building the car for the Rebelle, so everything like I build, even on other people's vehicles that I've built it for, I paint them that baby blue. It actually was. It was left over from when I did that transmission in my Cummins, because it's old school Mopar blue. And so I had the can left over, so I started spraying stuff with it. So that's kind of been my thing. My skid plate, which I call it a skid plate, but it's just this big piece of kind of thick-ish metal I got from the plant that's full like a belly pan, completely covers the the engine compartment. So yeah, that's just like kind of a piece. It's kind of bolted in the front where the factory bolts up, and then it's kind of actually just forms kind of follows that subframe, and I
Okay.
welded 2 nuts on the back, and it's bolted in.
Okay.
But it does its job. It takes a beating.
I love it.
I got an unequal length header on there, so it fits that nicely. But yeah, so where were we?
Well, I was just gonna say real quick, I like your wheel choice. I
Yeah,
think that is one of the most underrated alloy wheels that Subaru ever put
for
on any
sure.
car in 16-inch.
Yeah.
Because they always came with the machined face with a little
Hmm.
bit of gold on the
Yeah,
inside in
yeah.
most cases. And when I saw your car, I had a first gen Legacy, probably, what year are we in? Oh man, it's been over 10 years now. But I specifically looked for a pair or a full set of those wheels, painted them bronze,
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
super dark bronze. They remind me a lot of I think back in like 2000 to 2003 or something, the C5 Corvettes had a trim package that came with a wheel with a real similar spoke design, and they always
yeah,
remind me
yeah,
of that. They look
yeah.
sick, dude.
They
So
look really
good
good.
choice, dude.
Yeah, yeah. And then with the bronze color, my daughter's rims on her Impreza weren't like that great looking, so I'm like, oh, we'll just get some wheel paint. And it's just like the Duplicolor wheel paint, man. It lays so
That's what I
nice.
used.
Um, and it's tough too.
Yeah.
I was cutting through mud and all sorts of stuff in the rally, and I mean they still look just like the day I painted them. So I painted hers, and I'm like, I'm gonna do that to my car too. I was gonna paint them black, since I have that classy champagne color,
Yes.
Forester.
I
Um,
love that color, bro. I don't care what anybody says. The
at first I was
champagne.
like, oh man, but it's growing on me.
Yeah.
Um,
It's classy in my
yeah,
book. Anything
yeah,
that looks like a grandma would buy it, I want it because you know it's
exactly.
going to be clean.
Yeah. But yeah, so I really like those alloy wheels, and like I said, it's nice having spares at the close
Yeah.
by when I need them.
Oh, they made
Um,
millions of those wheels.
yeah, for sure. And I just like I'd love to get a set of methods or something like that, because I love method wheels. I had some bronze methods on my Cummins. Um, but you bash those on a rock or something, you
400
definitely
bucks.
tear up a little bit. So these things, I
Yeah.
don't really care what I do to them. Like, I'll use them to stabilize a floor jack if I need to. I'll set the car on them. Like, it's not a big deal.
That's what I like. I like stuff that I can actually
Yeah.
use and abuse. Let me ask you this.
Hmm.
This is a little out of order, but this popped into my head. You are working on a lot of vehicles in the rally that are doing the type of driving that the average lifted Subaru owner is doing. A lot of like
Hmm.
overland style driving. We're not doing rock crawling, we're not doing mud
Yeah.
bogging.
Hmm.
And because of that, what do you think are some of the, specifically on Subarus, most common repairs that you are seeing and things that people uh, would maybe want to look out for, be careful of when they're out doing this type of stuff?
I mean, definitely the main thing is just prep your rig. We're out there. We do a full tech inspection. Prior to the start of the rally. Um, Man, you don't know like how many times. Not really so much in the past couple of years, but man, we'd be going like, dude, like, did you even bother checking the oil on this thing? Like, um, so I mean that's a major part of it. Really isn't just like a repeat offender every year, except for tires. I mean,
Okay.
9 times out of 10, if someone's in the in the garage area at the end of the day, like, we're doing tire repairs. Um,
And that's
Coolest
good to
one,
take.
yeah, hmm,
That's a good thing to take note of.
yeah, yeah.
People don't think about it.
It was pretty awesome. One year we had a Rolls Royce in there. The Rolls Royce, man, I can't think of the name of it, but it's like an all-wheel drive SUV. Um, and man, yeah, they popped a tire. They wanted to stay bone stock. So I mean, they were running like highway tires, because that's the only thing you could get in that size. I think it was like a 22-inch tire
That's
or a 22-inch
ridiculous.
wheel. And man, I can just remember the Rolls Royce people are standing there. And I mean, we don't have a tire machine out in the middle of the desert. So, I mean, we just got tire bars, and we're just wrenching on it. I mean, beating the crap out of this rim. And they're like, that's a $6,000 rim, right? We're like, oh.
Why'd you bring it out? Why'd you bring it?
So, yeah, man, but they were really cool. I mean, they just really cool people out there. And I mean, they were just out there watching us do it, and they're like, man, I can't believe like some of the stuff that you guys have been able to repair out here with, stuff that you're not used to seeing. Like,
and in the
none
sand.
of us have ever touched a Rolls Royce before. None of us have ever touched a Rivian before the rally. Like, we've had a port axle G-Wagon one time. That was pretty cool.
Portals are sick.
Yeah.
Working in the sand, though, that is another level.
Yeah, and especially some nights I know you're probably used to cold, but I'm born and raised here in Arizona, so like I think it was like 80 degrees here today. Yeah, middle of December.
Yep. My parents are in Phoenix.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, we had some nights it's like 20 some degrees out there, and we're shivering trying to put a transmission in something. Or
absolutely.
This year in one of those Ineos Grenadiers, I don't know if you've heard of those things. They look like they're fairly
like Wrangler,
new. They look like a Land Rover, like an old Land Rover. And I have seen those. Have the twin turbo BMW straight sixes in them. Well, that being a kind of a BMW sort of vehicle, to pop the hood, you pull it, and then you pull it again, and there's no safety latch. So the competitor, popped it, and got, sidetracked, which is very easy to do on the rally, and they started driving away, and that hood just came up, folded over it. So, I mean, we got this shattered windshield. I mean, and we're, in nowhere, Nevada, and the guys from Grenadier, from Ineos, brought us a freaking windshield, and we put it in this thing. I mean, we were in with a sawzall with like a dulled blade, just cutting this windshield out of this thing. I mean, we're not glass guys, like, I mean, 20 some degrees outside. I mean, we're freezing trying to get this windshield on me with razor blades trying to cut the
stripping, the caulk.
And so we got it in. Guys from Grenadier were awesome. They stayed there and helped us get it in when they got there. Like I said, I mean, just everyone on it is just really cool. Rad. Really believe in the rally, and even like our sponsors. I mean, that's how they're picked. I mean, they've had tons of people that I want to be a part of it, but if you don't kind of stand for what the rally is, we kind of don't want your money. But
that's the way to be, dude.
For sure. I mean, it might be something bigger, but do you want those kind of people? If they're not willing to support you, like, why are you going to support them? So,
hey, let me ask you a little bit about your overall career in automotive. I know you used to professionally work on cars. I'm guessing flat rate might have had some reason to do with why you're not in it anymore.
I mean, so first of all, right out of high school, I went to Wyotech in Laramie, Wyoming. Full, technical automotive college. I did the automotive program. I did chassis fab and high performance engines, and
sick,
automotive upholstery, which actually was a pretty awesome class for
That's
sure.
Cool, dude.
So my first few rigs, like while I was there, I had a 92 4Runner. I completely did custom interior in the entire thing while I was there. Then I bought an 82 Corolla wagon when I was there.
Oh, that's
full,
tight.
Tuck and roll pleats. Like, I mean, it was pretty cool. I mean, I did carpet, I wrapped the dash, everything in that thing. Like, it was pretty cool. The old T72 Corolla wagon rear
Those
wheel
are
drive with a
sick.
3TC little
Yeah.
4-cylinder in it. Like, it was a pretty cool little ride for
Old
sure.
school JDM is
Yeah.
some of my favorite stuff ever. It just looks
So
There's nothing else that's ever gonna look like old school JDM.
no, yeah. So yeah, so that, like I said, that's where I went to school. I got out. While I was there, I got engaged to my now wife. We've been together since freshman year of high school.
Oh,
Um,
right on.
so yeah, so she was here. We were apart for a year with me being in Laramie. So YOTech is it's a full 8-hour day of classes every day. Like, you pretty much have a job. You're there,
Yeah.
8 to 5, doing your classes, and then of course you need to eat and everything like that. So I was delivering pizzas for Papa John's, till sometimes 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and then getting up and
Yeah.
going to school.
Making it happen, dude.
Yeah.
That's sick. That's
Also,
sick, dude.
the University of Wyoming is in that same little town of Laramie. Like, Laramie's tiny,
Okay.
and it has these two kind of big schools crammed in it. So, but man, if you're delivering pizza at 3 o'clock in the morning to a
In a college
college
town.
party, man, you're a king. You just walk
Yes, sir.
in and people just start handing you money, and
Let's
they're
go.
like, "Hey, did you get paid for that yet?" I'm like, "No, they said you were paying," and they just start dropping some money to you.
Let's go, man.
But yeah, that was driving that 92 4Runner around. Definitely ate up the gas. But
Oh yeah. What did that have in it? Was that
Yeah,
the
the
3.4?
3-point slow.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Oh, that one.
No, but at least it had the 5-speed manual in it.
Okay.
But
You
yeah,
really...
I had 31 1050 15s on it.
Okay.
Big bumper that I built in chassis fab there, and big roof rack that I built in my high school welding class before I left there, to go to WyoTech. But yeah, it was a good experience. That was my first real experience of cold weather. Sometimes some -30 wind chill.
Yes, dude.
Man, like, I'm not even used to above -30.
Man, so I live in Oregon, and a lot of people
Yeah.
think, oh, Oregon, nice temperate
Yeah.
rainforest. Not the part I live in, bro. We get that type of weather in the winter, but then it gets like 110 in the summer.
yeah,
So it's kind of desert climate, like high desert.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah.
odd. But what sparked your interest in cars? Is there like a definitive moment in your childhood or early years where you saw a car that just made you think, well, like, whoa, this is sick. I want to learn about this.
I mean, my dad was always, kind of a Ford nut, which is probably why, like, I'm so against Fords now. But I mean, he always, we had a little dirt circle track in town of Cottonwood, which is no longer there because it made noise and made dust. So naturally, it had to leave. But so my dad would have these little Fox body LX 4-cylinder Mustangs.
Oh, let's go.
And we'd be putting roll cages in them. So I mean, I'm probably 5-6 years old, and my dad a lot bigger than the 5-year-old, so he's like, hey, why don't you get back here and weld this right here. Yeah. So like, I was back in his race car, welding his roll cage up,
dude.
I mean,
sick.
Definitely wasn't, I don't think whatever classifications they had for safety regulations, I don't
Not
think
OSHA
that was following
approved.
it, but yeah, so I mean, that's kind of how it was. I mean, I went into high school, knowing quite a bit about cars because I kind of was always around them. So I didn't take auto class in high school. I took welding. Took all 4 years. I did welding. But auto, I kind of knew it, so I didn't really take it except for my senior year. My now wife, my then brother-in-law, he was a freshman. I was like, man, I want to take auto, but I don't want to take it by myself. So I took beginner's auto with him, and the teacher said, awesome guy, Sonny Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez was like, hey, if you get an A on this pretest, you got an A for the rest of the year.
Nice.
I'm like, okay. So I ended up getting like a 99% on it. And so I pretty much just did that year as just like a teacher's aide.
Okay.
But so yeah, so I mean, like I knew about it. I didn't know exactly like it was going to be a career. Kind of like a Wyotech recruiter came to the high school, and that was kind of it. That's how I got into Wyotech. Wyotech, they kind of promise you, oh yeah, you're going to get a high paying job and all that kind of spiel.
It sound like military recruiters.
Yeah, yeah. I got a lot of job offers for upholstery, because they actually came in and like saw my work. But man, I couldn't just sit there at a sewing machine for 8 hours a day. Like I think actually one was cat skins, that do like seat covers. So they're kind of a bigger, custom seat cover, seat skin place.
Yeah, I used to sell those.
But yeah, I mean, it's just I just couldn't do it. So I started just doing it as a hobby. Looked at some other fab shops like in Phoenix, but then kind of settled on a place restoring old Toyota Land Cruisers. And that Toyota was my thing. And my first vehicle was an '86 4Runner, removable hardtop. I wish I had that thing now. It'd be worth like 15 grand.
Go, dude. I'm helping my buddy finish one of those right now, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
such a good platform.
It was just gorgeous, and one of those you kick yourself for letting your dad tell you, no, you should get rid of it and get this '92 pickup. And
yeah, the only downside was, I mean, unless you motor swap them, they're carbureted, and so we did propane on this one.
Oh yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Propane. That and the little Samurais run really good on propane.
Yes,
I'm 6 foot. I don't fit in a Samurai too well, so I've never really been into the Samurais too much.
It's probably one of my favorite off-road rigs, but they gotta have a 22 RE swap minimum
and Toyota
with solid axles.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Once you do that, all you need is 35s on a Samurai, and you're pretty much untouchable.
Yeah,
they're such a sick platform. But you're right, they are not big at all.
No. But so anyway, I started working for this company. We got most of our FJs from Australia. Like they got imported from Australia.
Okay.
So they were all right-hand drives. A lot of them were like the BJ40s, the diesel ones. So I mean, just some awesome rigs. A lot of them were the where they kind of make them into crew cabs, full-size 4-door. It was a really cool place to be, especially for a place right out of college. The only thing that was bad is I live in Cottonwood. We're in Flagstaff. I worked there like through October, and so I just got out of college. I'm like, I need something fuel efficient. I'll go buy a motorcycle. So I got a little brand new Suzuki GS 500, little twin cylinder. I mean, it ran good, nice little bike.
Until it gets cold, bro.
Yeah, so I'm driving through Oak Creek Canyon, 20 degrees outside, blasting through. I had 3 pairs of gloves, sticking my hands down the engine to try to warm them up. So the place was cool to work at, but they kind of did some things like they were definitely in it for the money, and I'm more I want to do this right. We'd get one I remember is one that had it was one of those that was converted to a quad cab.
Okay.
And the floorboard was just rusted out, like all the way into the back panel. And they're like,
Bondo it and paint it.
Exactly.
Oh,
and
no,
I'm like, hey,
they really did that.
I said, give me some sheet metal. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, I'm going to build a new floor and build this whole new, back of the cab. And they're like, okay, whatever. And so they, got me a thing of sheet metal. It took me like, a couple days. I completely built a new floor, wrapped it, tack welded it around for the body. I'm like, oh man, that looks great. But it took way too long. So next time we're just going to Bondo it. And I'm like, oh man. So, I mean,
dude,
they'd be
horrible.
This is 07. Not going for like what they are worth now. But I mean, I mean, they would be charging 20 grand for these things.
In
I mean,
'07 was a lot of money.
I mean, slapping used engines in them. I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
were pretty much just get this thing running and get it out the door. And that just wasn't me.
Yeah.
There was a Hyundai dealership opening up in Cottonwood, from a friend of mine that he was going to be like the general manager of it, and said, "Hey man, like we'd love to have you here. There's really only like kind of like the service manager, the parts manager, their brothers. Really got to be really good friends of mine." And it'd be you as the tech. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, I'll start. So I quit there at the Land Cruiser place in like the beginning of December. Got married December 15th. So that was just this last Monday. So celebrated my 18-year wedding anniversary.
Congrats,
this last
bro.
Monday.
I just got married.
Yeah. Yeah,
dude.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you, dude.
But yeah, so I mean, it was kind of like a life change, and I definitely being a new dealership and everything. And I think I started at like $12 an hour flat rate, like starting out.
Okay.
Like, I mean, nothing.
And that's not horrible back in those days,
I mean,
but it's not a lot of money.
I was only flagging, maybe sometimes 3-4 hours a day. Like it wasn't, it wasn't a lot of, of work. But I stayed there for 8 years, became Hyundai Master Certified Tech. Kind of got to see Hyundai grow from being cheap kind of throwaway Korean cars to what they are now. Like, so in 07, well actually I started in January, so it would have been January of 08. That's when they really started coming out making a decent vehicle.
Dude.
And now I think, in my opinion, I think Hyundai quality wise is right up there with Hyundai and Toyota, and Subaru for that matter. They're just a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
They don't hold their value. But you can't beat that warranty. I mean, 10-year, 100,000, like
let's go.
No matter what warranty. They covered that 2.4 that they started putting in like 2012 into the Sonatas. I had a friend who had just went out with like 130,000 miles. Hyundai covered it full warranty for him.
That's
because
sick.
it was a defect in the engine.
Okay.
I mean, it was just nuts, and they just put a brand new engine in it for him. So I mean, in that aspect, like it was nuts.
Yeah, so Samsung used to be the same thing. I don't know if people remember this, but Samsung used to be like a knockoff brand, and Korea has absolutely like revolutionized themselves within the last 25 years.
For sure.
And I lived there for a little bit, and it's essentially like
yeah.
probably one of the coolest places you can live. It's just very it's almost like living in like a Disney movie is kind of what I tell people.
As long as you stay away from the neighbors to the north.
yeah, that's a different. I mean, I went to the DMZ just to say I did, but yeah, I mean, you can't even get in there.
Oh yeah.
But no, that's funny you say that, because I've noticed that the way that they do, it's not quite the same as Japanese engineering, but they're very much like on board with I don't know, just the way they do things is like really intriguing. I like it a lot.
Yeah, there's actually someone that lives like around the corner from me that they have the Hyundai Kona.
Yeah.
It's like
that's
a small
cool little car, dude.
It's lifted. It's all blacked out. It's got like a nice like off-road bumper on it. I'm like, dude, that thing's pretty sweet. Like, I don't know what it's capable of, but I think it would be it'd be fun to take out and see what it actually does.
Yeah.
But I've lifted a Santa Fe before.
Okay.
Nothing, just a little, like 1.5-inch spacer lift on it. But yeah, nothing too crazy. I built a pretty nasty Hyundai Genesis Coupe, the V6 one.
Yeah.
A friend of mine who recently passed away, he had a 2010 Genesis Coupe, manual transmission, and he comes up to me, he's all, "Hey Josh, like, what do you think we can do to to beef this thing up? And I pulled up this forget the company that made it, but it was a full like turbo kit for the
Okay.
Genesis Coupe for the V6, not the
Okay.
4-cylinder turbo, but the it came with a big like Turbonetics ball bearing turbo. And I'm like, hey, just joking with him, hey, you could get this. I think it was like 10 grand for this kit. Um, and he's like, oh yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Well, like a week later, he comes in. Okay, I ordered the kit. It'll be here next week. I'm all, the kit for what? He's all, for the turbo. I'm like, Gary, like there's no way you got that. He's all, dude, it's gonna be here. Like, when can you put it in for me? And so I, in my garage, me and my buddy, on the ground, jacking this thing up, put this whole turbo kit in it. We got it done at like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, man, let's go take this thing out. And we didn't even have the exhaust on it yet.
Just
And
open header.
just ripped that thing around. And at that point, it was only running like 4 or 5 pounds of boost. Like, it wasn't much.
Yeah.
And it was nasty. And he just kept like, well, what else can I do? We put water methanol injection in it. And he's just kept like, what else? I'm like, Gary, you probably want to stop. So we
Go
put
buy a
big,
Ferrari, dude.
Yeah, we put a big Willwood brake setup in it. The car was just, I mean, it was insane. It was a Corvette killer for sure.
I think that's a cool platform. I really like the Genesis stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Genesis is like a whole luxury line that they have in Korea.
Yeah, it used to be. Yeah, I mean, now they kind of have the separate, like they have, same as Hyundai and like Lexus.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of separate entity now. But at the start, it was just it was Hyundai and Genesis. Like for a while, they came out with that Hyundai Equus that was like an $80,000 Hyundai. Yeah, it was a big 4-door sedan. The back seats reclined. They had like massagers in it. But I was like, it was crazy. Like they really kind of, like I said, Hyundai stepped up their game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, they're not playing.
But yeah, so like I said, I was at Hyundai for all that time, and then my buddy who went from Hyundai, started being the general manager at the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealership in the same town, and he's like, man, like we really need a good used car tech that just knows everything. Like the cars we're turning out right now, they're just not up to standard. We want to start putting money into our used cars because that's where the money is in the car dealership.
Oh, absolutely.
Would you want to come over here? And I'm like, man, like I've been at Hyundai for 8 years. Like I'm the only master certified tech, like within, between here and Phoenix, like all the way around. I'm not sure, but I made the step, and really, it was a good decision. I made quite a bit more money over there. That's what got me into the rally. It's what
I love getting paid.
So there was definitely a lot more hours there. They did, put a lot of money into their used cars, but I also, learned Ram and Jeep as well. So that was cool to kind of be on, kind of learn a whole new, different, other than Korean line. So I was there for about 6 years. And I did most of the welding and stuff. Jeeps go out, play, they break stuff. So
always
a lot of stuff that's how I met my friend Nina Barlow. I start welding the little skids on her
control arm,
on her
lower
control arms and everything. Yep. Gussets and all that. So all of her rentals, came fully kitted. At that time it was the JKs.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone got those axle braces for the knuckle. So you didn't didn't tweak
the C gussets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They got all that. Mm-hmm.
You guys trust the axles?
Not full trusses, just pretty much those, because that's where they tended to bend the axles.
Yeah, right on the
you get people who are renting them, not really know what they're doing. just kind of the common failure, but they'd fully, come fully lifted on 35s.
Nice.
So I mean, yeah, she held a really good really good line of vehicles, really capable vehicles.
Were
Um,
they were they doing Rubicons with the Dana 44s front and rear, or Dana 30s in the front?
they were just she just had a factory Jeep Rubicons. There was nothing really modded for the ones she sent up because she did
Okay.
Rubicon rentals.
Okay, perfect. So
Um,
Dana 44, brother.
yeah.
That's the jam right
So
there.
yeah. So I mean, it was cool. Like I said, she had at one time. I forget. I thought she had. I know she had like over 20 at one, because she had the Moab rental and then the Sedona. And that
That's
was
sick.
before all the side by sides came and ruined
Ruined
Sedona
it.
and Moab. So
Sedona's sick, dude. I was
yeah,
there last fall, man.
yeah,
Like in
yeah. Next time you come down,
2024.
we gotta go and we'll do a
I'm
Broken
down.
Arrow for
I'm
sure,
I'm
man.
so down, dude. Let's do it. I'm so down. Yeah, that whole
um,
area is beautiful.
yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, I mean, people are like, "Oh yeah, I went and did your Broken Arrow." I'm like, "Yeah, it's like 15 minutes away from me, and I've
Yeah.
never taken my Subaru on it."
Yeah.
So I've taken the 4Runner and all the other, pretty much just my 98 4Runner. I took on Broken Arrow a few times, but I really want to take and see what I can do with the Forester.
Yeah.
But
Do you follow the Bearded Pixel on Instagram by chance? It's got the
I'm sure
blue SJ Forester XT.
I probably do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got 3 really good friends in the, Phoenix-ish area.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Okay.
last year I don't remember exactly because I'm not familiar with the trails up there, so I don't know exactly where we went, but I know we came in from the top and went down into Sedona.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
It was probably I don't know. I don't think it'd be Soldier's Pass. I think I know of what you're talking about. I just can't
okay.
recollect it right now. But,
Yeah. Well, we took so my friend Ryan Wolf, he's got 3.6
mm-hmm.
2019 Outback. And
Okay.
then the Bearded Pixel, he's got I think it's 2017 Forester XT. And then our friend John, he's got, I think it's a 2014 Outback 3.6. We took all those down through Sedona. All the Jeep people are looking at
Oh
us
yeah,
like,
yeah,
what's wrong
yeah,
with you guys?
yeah. I mean, Subarus are definitely getting a lot more common. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I started it, but I
Yeah.
mean, like that's when I lifted that first '03. I'm like, man, there's no lifted Subarus out here. And then I
Yeah,
lifted
dude.
it and drove it around, and then hey, there's another one. There's another one. And I mean, I've also built about another 6 or 7 of them that are rolling around town here, just
Heck
friends
yeah.
um and stuff like that. So I mean, they are getting a little more common for sure.
Yeah.
The Subaru scene in Flagstaff is pretty huge, but not really the aftermarket like lifted, kind of Subaru community too much. Just kind of basic, Outbacks mostly, Outbacks and Foresters. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're good
Well,
for
I feel,
snow. So
oh, absolutely. And you got Snowball up there, so
oh
that
yeah,
drives a
yeah,
lot of the
yeah,
Subaru
for
sales.
sure.
But I feel like it was the introduction of the Crosstrek that really
Yeah.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
kicked that whole thing off. Once the Crosstrek became,
Yeah.
more known, oh, dude,
Mm-hmm.
it was game over at that point.
Yeah, and I like that's one like I really want to build. I really want to build a cross track someday. Yeah, they're just a good platform. And man, someone it went fast, so it either was a scam, or someone just jumped on it. Someone was selling a first gen cross track up in Flagstaff, and they're like, "Yeah, nothing's wrong with it. It was something like needs a battery or something, like 2 grand."
Okay.
And I'm like, oh man.
Two
And
grand?
then like the next time I looked, it was gone.
I
So
bet the
it
CVT was
either
clapped and they weren't
that's
telling
what I
him.
was. Yeah, I'm actually going to be putting a CVT trans in a 14
Okay.
Forester here in like a week or so. I think it
Okay.
just I think the solenoids are going out in it, but it just, it's got 190,000 miles on it. So I'm like, man, you can drop the money. We can put a valve body in it, or, we
Yeah.
can pick up a used trans. I can throw that in. Labor is not much different between the two.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so you ended up doing the used trans route. So I think you picked up like a 60,000 mile CVT for, that was something like $1,200. So I mean,
Okay.
not horribly bad, but
Yeah.
so I'll see how that goes. That'll be my first CVT I've swapped out. So
Yeah. I've never owned one, man.
yeah, me either.
It's just not my thing. Hey, what so, you've told me a little bit about what you're doing now, but what kind of caused you to transition out of working on cars professionally and into what you're doing today?
It was kind of one thing. I mean, just family wise, not so much the money, benefits, um, and I was just getting burnt out. Like, I did it for roughly 15 years. Just kind of seeing the older techs where I was working, like, they're grumpy.
Pissed
They
off.
their hands just hurt. Like they
Yeah.
don't want to be working on cars anymore. And like, I enjoy working on cars, and I was, starting to get to that point where, it was a job. Like, I got home, I didn't want to work on another car. I didn't want to,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
build a car for myself. So I mean, now it's kind of nice. Like, I have, you know, how many thousands of dollars worth of tools sitting in my garage from what I acquired over 15 years from the Snap-on trucks and Natco trucks. And
You still owe on them?
no, I don't owe on them. So
Nice.
it's all even my my big old, Snap-on 3-bay like toolbox. And
Oh, let's go. That's
it
you
definitely
might
clogs up the garage. But
you might be the only human being on planet Earth that's got paid off Snap-on
I know,
tools.
right? Yeah. Yeah, I got a hold of that. So the key is to not finance them, just doing the truck payments and making your truck
Yes.
payment.
Oh man, yeah, playing with credit. I
Yeah.
know it works for some people, but I don't owe anybody anything, and I don't
Yeah.
plan on changing.
But so now an opportunity came. I don't know if I know you said you've been in Arizona. I don't know if you've been in like the Jerome area or anything
I
like
have.
that.
I have. I've stayed in Jerome
Okay.
just one night, but yeah.
So in Jerome, like, you look like down the hill, or down the mountain, and there's that giant like facility down there, kind of two big gray domes. Well, that's the
Okay.
cement plant that I work at now.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
yeah. So I mean, completely career change. People are like, oh, you work at the garage over there? I'm like, no, I work for a utility. I shovel stuff and jackhammer stuff, and
Sick.
I run equipment. Past 4 years, I've been doing a lot of fabricating parts, like part of one of our big vacuum trucks. Kind of just
Mm-hmm.
material is worn through it, so I spent today building a new piece, so that won't happen again, and it seals it back up. So I mean, yeah, it's been, like I said, a complete career change, but easily one of the best decisions of my life. With 401k and benefits, it's just, my insurance is insane. Like, I'm a type 1 diabetic, so I mean, I
Okay.
always just shelling out money for
Oh yeah.
everything, and pretty much everything gets covered. And having 4 kids, I mean, that's definitely the priority. Get plenty of vacation time for me to do the rally. It was funny, I started there in September of 2020. And I'm like, hey, yeah, so, like, thanks for giving me a job, but I got this
I gotta
thing called
leave.
I got a thing for the Rebelle Rally coming up in 2 weeks. They're like, okay, well, how long can you be gone? I'm like, 11 days. And so, like, oh, okay, well, yeah, well, as long as you told us. So,
See you when you get
they've
back.
they've been gracious enough, to be fine with me taking 10 to 12 days off, every year since. So
What do you think is a good piece of advice. You know, a lot of people that are on YouTube or, you know, listening to this, they're
Yeah.
probably, you know, maybe a little younger than us. What what do you think is one of the biggest pieces of career advice that you could give people?
I mean, you're definitely not gonna, find, not everyone's gonna find something that they love. Um, I mean, you kind of just got to come to the conclusion, like, you're not gonna like, every single person you work with.
Yeah,
Um, it's kind of just one of those things that you got to do. And always, even if there's those days like you don't want to get up. My job, I get up early, sometimes at 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, most days 5 o'clock in the morning, and get to work. And some days, especially these cold mornings, you definitely don't want to get up. But I mean, as long as you come to that realization, like, if you want to eat, if you want to, buy stuff for your kids, buy stuff for your car, like, I mean, it's just, you got to do it. You just got to put in the time. Make sure you take, time for yourself. Make sure you do stuff with the family.
absolutely.
Make sure, my one of my biggest priorities for the past, really for the past, 13 years, I've been, coaching youth sports with my kids, and,
Nice.
basketball, soccer. So I mean, make the time for that. I mean, make sure that you're there. And it just, like I said, just enjoy those things. Appreciate those things, and just know, like, you gotta support your family. Like, that's what you gotta do. And I'm one, like, every time I left, like when I left Hyundai, when I left Chrysler, um, I always like felt really bad. Like, I've grown attached to these people that I work with. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm, you know, letting them down if I leave. But I mean, you gotta put your family first. You gotta put, um, you know, your own health, first. Um, and I mean, most places they'll understand. I mean,
Yeah,
if they were
100%.
in the same situation, they'd. I mean, Chrysler, they offered to, throw me quite a bit of money, like, to stay,
Yeah.
and to come back, like, a couple years after I left. And I took a big pay cut going to the cement plant when I first went, but I mean, we saved $700 a month on health insurance.
Can't beat
Um,
that, dude.
I
Well,
mean, it's nuts.
and I think it just as somebody that doesn't know you outside of our conversation
Hmm.
today and Instagram, like I just observing what you told me, you're the type of person that collects skills, a bunch of skills, and you get good at
Hmm.
it. I mean, because you got headhunted to go to these different places. I think that's
Yeah.
something that people forget, man. Like if you have an opportunity to learn something at your job that's above and beyond, and even if you're not going to get paid extra for it, do it and do it
Hmm.
the best you can, man. And before long, you'll have people begging to give you
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. Thank you. Like I said, I mean, I kind of always have considered myself like kind of a, jack of all trades, because,
Hmm.
like I said, I mean, that's kind of the same thing with, building stuff on the Subaru rather than,
Yeah,
going out and buying it. Like, so all in all, everything on my car, from purchasing it for $500 and buying the engine, I don't think I have more than 5 grand into my car.
that's so
And I
tight.
mean, and you know, I take it a lot of places. I mean,
Yeah,
like some of the amazing trails on the rally, like, and it always seems to, survive. I'm
just eats it
always
up.
able. I'm always able to drive it from Glamis or wherever back home. Even one year, I bent back, why I have the SDI control arms, tacoed a control arm back into my firewall,
I
and
know, and it
yeah,
folded right in that middle part too, didn't it?
just
Yep.
so my buddy, he made this really cool. I mean, he's just amazing. He's the guy that runs the mechanics for the rally. Well, he
Okay.
has this older, like '06 Power Wagon, and well, he's a firefighter, and they had this old wrecker like sitting there. So he's like, hey, I could put that. So he has this wrecker, and it's on the back of his Power Wagon. So he has full boom with two, twin spools and two hooks. It's just nuts. So I said, hey man, like, yeah, I kind of did something dumb and tacoed my control arm.
Will you
Man,
pull on
what
this
do you
thing?
think? Yeah. So all he did was come. Yeah, we hooked it up, yanked on it like once. I'm like, yeah, I think it's holding. So I'm double footing the brake, and I'm like, yank it, and he just smacks it, lined it back perfectly. My steering wheel wasn't even crooked afterwards. Drove it all the way home from Glamis all the way back to Cottonwood.
That's sick.
So yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's really the only vehicle that like I haven't like really broke on the rally. Like I don't consider
Yeah.
a couple bent struts and a bent control arm really breaking. It's never left me stranded. I mean, no matter how many people on the rally probably thought it was going to, it's just it goes, man. Like it does its job. I sleep in it on the rally. I have to.
SGs are perfect for
Yeah.
sleeping in, dude.
I push so like I know you've said on one of your podcasts that you sleep in yours. Do you put your head towards the back or
I
towards
put
the
it
front?
towards the front because I like the downward angle, but I might have to switch it up because I feel like you're about to tell me something.
So what I do, slide the driver's seat all the way forward and tilt it all the way forward. And then I pack stuff, in between the front seat and the folded down back seat. So I got a nice little footrest. And then just lay down with my head towards the back.
The hatch.
And that's the way. So I don't know if you see, I think there might be a picture of like the back, like when I'm set up for the rally in the back. But so I have like a hanging like net, which is also it was a cargo net from a Jeep, like supposed to be made to go in the crossbars on a Wrangler. So I have that suspended above, so that's what I put all my sleeping bag, my pillows, and everything, and my jackets and everything. I stuff up there, and then I also hang stuff off of it too. Like I kind of use it like a Molly panel kind of up there. Hang my first aid kit. Kind of like my toiletry bag and everything. So everything's kind of mounted. I have a Demos shovel, fold down aluminum shovel over my passenger side rear quarter window. And then I have just like kind of another little like organizer thing. I need to do something with it. I'd love to do Molly panels, but like I said,
they're expensive,
pricey
dude.
Thing, a pricey thing for something. I could devise another way to get around it. I've thought I have a plasma cutter. I'm like I can just freehand one. It won't look good, but it'll be. But no, like I said, everything that like ADF does, like amazing, man. Like if I had and people that I know that want me to build stuff for them, that have the money. I've done a couple ADF kits, and that's the first person that I tell them to go for.
First time I bought a Molly panel, I was like, oh, this hurts.
yeah, for sure.
Because I definitely, Patrick is, we've become friends recently, but I mean, I've been buying parts from him since like 2014.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, all the stuff that's on my Forester right now, I mean, I paid for it, with my own money, and it hurts a little bit.
So I do have ADF parts on my car. I have the ADF ditch light mounts.
Nice.
Because I mean he doesn't charge that much at all for those. I mean it would take me longer just to get the metal and all that stuff than to just buy a set of those. And then I have the ADF battery tie down.
The Group 35 tie down, man. That's a good call.
So I carry ADF stickers on my car at all times. So I'm repping. They're all like, "Oh yeah, what kind of ADF do you have?" I'm like, "I got some ditch light mounts and a battery mount." I'm like, hey, it's okay.
Yeah, no, there. The thing is if you have the ability to make stuff,
Yeah.
why would you not? You
And
know?
that's kind of my mindset for sure. The one thing that I recently put on this year before the rally, Ford Ranger bumper.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, dude,
A
like
lot
I
of people
bought.
love that bumper.
So, a lot of people at the rally probably got tired of hearing me rave about Timu. So I do gotta say, my front Ranger bumper is from Timu, but it's the same one like from eBay and Amazon. It's the exact same bumper, and I
Yeah.
spent $200 on it. Like it took them 3 times to send it to me, but I did end
Okay.
up getting it. It was a little banged up. Some of the powder coating kind of got a little nicked, but
Yeah, I hit it with
I
some
don't care.
duplicolor.
Yeah,
She's good.
exactly.
Hey,
Mhm.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No,
I
it
cut you
was
off.
really easy to install.
Hmm.
I just had to drill 2 holes in the Ranger bumper, um, and that kind of mounted to the factory
Those two
mounts. Yeah,
big, yeah.
so I put those on, and then I sandwiched a plate in between, drilled
Just,
the other 2 holes, so I have all 6,
okay.
factory bolt mounts
Yeah,
bolted to
utilized.
it, and then I welded the Ranger bumper to the plate. So I mean it's
Perfect.
solid. Like it's other
Yeah.
than actually welding it to the body,
Yeah.
it's a solid bumper.
Okay.
I don't have a
Now,
winch yet, but I think going like maybe a UTV, kind of winch, something,
dude, I'm
three,
running a
four
Harbor
thousand
Freight.
pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm running a Harbor Freight UTV winch. Don't give
Yeah.
a fudge, dude.
Yeah.
That's all I
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
did, did you I might be picturing this wrong in my head, but you basically put a piece of steel across from one of the factory mounting points across the other. Is that correct?
It doesn't go all the way across. So I
Okay.
mean, so I still get like some of that airflow in there from those holes from the Ranger bumper. So they're just 2 separate pieces of plate,
Okay. Okay.
just kind of on each of those
Okay. Gotcha.
sides. Um,
Right on.
but yeah, it actually was really simple. And then I put another, which I'm going to change it up a little bit. I put another like skid plate that I had lying around from a JK.
Okay.
It's just like it was like an aftermarket one, kind of in between that bumper and that lower cross member rail that's
Okay.
kind of sticking there, because then the radiator is kind of
Yeah.
hanging out, so I
A little
didn't want to
core
catch
support.
anything in there. But it hangs down a little bit lower, so it takes some of my clearance up, so I'm gonna kind of change that up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the photo of that
Oh
bumper, dude.
yeah.
The way you mounted it's really good.
Yeah, and it fits so clean and nice and like tight on the body. Like if you
Yeah.
didn't know any better, I mean, you think it was made for the SG, but
Yeah. That's probably
like,
the cleanest Ranger bumper install I've seen. So
oh, thanks.
yeah, good job. Keeping in mind that the average person
Mm-hmm.
can't fabricate. Uh, Most people are probably not going to be able to build their own lift kit.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if somebody wants to lift a Subaru on a budget, you've done a lot of things that have still saved money that'll, pretty much the average person could do.
Mm-hmm.
If you right now were going to, build another Subaru or give somebody advice on how to do it
Mm-hmm.
affordably, but not horribly,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
kind of advice would you give them to save a little bit of money? Like tire selection, wheel selection, lift kit
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, I think if someone says I want a lifted Subaru, um, but I don't have a lot of money, first thing I would say is buy an Impreza, and put
Yes, sir.
Forester struts on it. I
Yep.
mean, I've done 2 of them. I did my daughter's '04, and then actually recently a coworker had a 2012 Impreza, and he's all like, I need struts. I'm like, well, do you want to leave it
Cross
stock
track.
height, or you want to lift it? And he's like, well, I'll get a lift. So I actually got 2012 Forester struts,
Oh, there you go.
and put them on it. And yeah, it probably did like about like, I have the measurements, but it was a little over 3 inches that it lifted the thing. And
Okay.
then I actually just built my own little pucks to lower the
Yeah.
subframe in the in the
Hmm.
back. Just with we get we get at work, get this stuff. I mean, it just looks like, a cutting board. And so I just
Yeah.
made, it was 3/4 inch thick urethane and
Yeah, just
cut those,
HDPE.
drilled a hole in it and put them in. I mean, he lives down a dirt road. So, I mean, he's never really going to take it, really wheeling. But yeah, just wanted a little bit a look, and I think he ended up putting like a 235 on it. And it
Nice.
looks good. It rubs a little bit, but not bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, and then really just what is the person really going to be doing? To kind of choose what parts to buy. What I've kind of noticed is pretty much anything that's metal and flat, you can kind of bend and make a skid plate out of. you know, we get some. I would think on my daughters, I got like a couple, old stop signs and stuff from the plant. I think I'm going to make her some stop sign skid plates. We've taken it out a little bit, kind of out in the mud. That thing, surprisingly, like there's some stuff like I got to get a run up at. I mean, I have a manual and she's the automatic, so that little lower final drive in hers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, well, you probably want to get a run. And she's like, well, I'll just try it. And she just hit the gas and just crawled up like this mud slick hill. And I'm like, man, I did not expect that at all.
Dude, the 4 EATs, man, they're solid, dude. They go anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, her car's got like 230,000 miles on it, but it's good to go. What I really would like to do, I want to do an H6 swap in my car.
Yes.
And then I'd put my kind of, hopped up EJ in her car. But yeah, I'd really like to do an H6 swap. But it's like, man, my engine doesn't even have 15,000 miles on it. It just has those 5 rallies on it. So I'm like, man, it runs decent enough. It definitely could use some more power, even though it is hopped up a little bit. But
those H6s sound so good, dude. Maybe it's Brian from iWire. He's got one swapped into a 2.5 RS. Sounds so good. It sounds odd, but good.
Yeah, so there's a friend of mine from the rally. Her name's Eliza Coleman. She's she's a rally car driver. She's actually a stunt coordinator. And actually the owner of Melee, because I was listening to your podcast, he knows her because he mentioned her name.
Okay, that's
from the rally
sounds familiar.
World. Yeah. But yeah, she used to be the stunt coordinator for Gymkhana videos, and she knows Ken Block and all that. But she did, because she was talking to me a couple years ago, because she skipped a year on the rally.
Okay.
And I was supposed to meet her because she comes up and does the Prescott rally here local. And so she was talking to me that she wanted to do an H6 swap. And I said, well, my buddy Richard probably has an H6 lying around if you're really thinking about it. And then we didn't talk for, a couple years. And then she says, yeah, I finally did the H6 swap. And so I need to get with her a little more and see exactly what she did and how difficult it was, because I would really like to do that.
Can you remind me her name real quick?
Eliza Coleman.
I got to follow her real quick if I'm not already.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, she's really cool. I wanted to get out and see her this last Prescott rally, but I think she had an ECU failure. So she didn't end up going, being there the day that I could have made it. But
wait, Alex Gelsomino is her co-driver?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Oh, that's sick. Alex Gelsomino is Rhiannon Gelsomino's husband.
Okay.
Travis Pastrana's co-driver.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like she's big in that world. Like she's awesome, and like these people like you meet at the rally,
they're so cool.
Like, they're just like these normal people, and then you're like, well, they own this huge, like they're the CEO of this huge company. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
like that's insane.
I found out one of my favorite rally drivers, this is funny. He drives a BMW, which I hate BMWs. This guy drives an M3. And he definitely lets that thing eat for the people when he goes through the spectator points. I found out he's like a dentist or something,
Yeah.
just like I just, making my money over here fixing people's teeth to do what I really want to do,
For sure.
That's so sick.
So one other cool thing, so we're talking about like, kind of famous people. So one year, Nina Barlow, she's done a lot with Top Gear, the show. And, she kind of comes up to me because that's actually how I first knew her. She did one from Top Gear USA, because there's Top Gear USA, and then Top Gear America. So she did one with Top Gear USA, and they did the Rubicon Trail, and and she's they hired her for the professional driver, and to kind of give that the education to the hosts and everything. So she had this big, it was like a 91 4Runner that they bought. I mean, lifted it insane. Built this entire exo cage on it. It's bright yellow. It looks like a banana. And after this happened, it ended up, they rolled it in the Rubicon. I mean, staged. I mean, they played it off as it wasn't.
Okay. Was it straight axle swapped?
No, it was still IFS.
Okay.
And it was like, it was stupid tall. Like, it was maxed out. Those torsion bars were just cranked. And so it set it on side. It like broke a motor mount. It did all this stuff. And so that was like when I first started at Chrysler. And so she brought it in, and she's like, well, they pretty much gave me this 4Runner, and I'm going to use it for doing rollover demonstrations for people to recover.
Nice.
And they're like, I didn't even really know Nina that much. And they're like, yeah, it's a Toyota. And none of the Chrysler guys like, I don't want to work on a Toyota. They're like, give it to that new kid. So that's how I got to know Nina. And
perfect.
Because I, fixed this thing, got it running, got it going again from its rollover from the Rubicon Trail. So she owned that thing. She called it Candy because it was like bright yellow. It had like ostrich wrapped seats in it. Like it was nuts. They bought it from some guy in California. I guess it was stock. And so they lifted it, put that big, the production put the exo cage on it, knowing they were going to roll it and everything. I mean, they definitely spent some money on that thing. But yeah, so she used it as a rollover demonstration, and that was just, I think she'd bring it in after she rolled it, which it didn't really need anything. It busted a window out. So I think one time I had them get me plexiglass, and so I made a plexiglass window for it, and it still rolled up and down and everything.
Nice. Nice.
But so, a few years after that, Top Gear America, the one that was Motor Trend, I think they were like half-hour episodes on Motor Trend TV, but it had, Dax Shepard, Rob Cordaday.
Cool.
And I can't remember the third host. His name was Jethro, but he was a professional driver, really cool guy. It's the middle of COVID, but they wanted to do like an overlanding episode at the Cinders in Flagstaff. So Nina comes up to me and says, hey, would you be interested in mechanicking this? I'm like, yeah. So we went out there, and I'm like, I had no idea what anything was going to be. So I look at it. They have an old 60s Econoline van with a big mural of Dax Shepard and his wife, Christian Bell, with him like slaying a dragon on the side of it, blacked out, lifted, 4-wheel drive converted, Econoline van. First generation 4Runner. It was independent front suspension, but it had a tough shed like attached to the back of it, like looked like a house. And I'm like, what the heck? And then the third one was a 350Z that was lifted with a like nicely built cage on the top to put a roof mount tent on it.
I love that.
Yeah, dude, it was sick. I mean, that car did the best out of all three of them. It was insane in the Cinders.
Nice.
So the first thing, like with Dax's van, the Econoline, like I think they bought it in California. So it was jetted for sea level, like an old
Okay.
460 in this thing. Like, so it just ran like crap. No fan shroud. This is July. I mean, yeah, it's in Flagstaff, but I mean, it's still
Still
like
hot.
90 some degrees out. And it was just so they could barely keep the thing running. So my job pretty much that whole weekend was just like make Dax's van run so we can get some footage of it. So yeah, so Dax drove that. Rob Cordaday drove the 4Runner, and then Jethro drove the 350Z, the professional driver. So the first thing me and Nina had to tell them when they first started taking off from the scene was because they couldn't get the Z to move. I'm like, well, did you guys air down the tires? Well, no. So the first thing we did was air down all the tires in all the vehicles. Oh, and the Econoline also had a full water bed in the back of it.
What?
Just because it is
Why
Dax
not?
Shepard and for the Hollywood quality of it. Because they were supposed to be I think the episode's called like Overland for 5K or something like that. So
Okay.
supposedly they spent $5,000 on all these vehicles. So the first night, the final scene was they climbed this big cinder hill to get to the top, and that's supposedly where they camp. So Dax goes and it stops. He makes it like halfway up the hill and dies. So they end up, they're all like, hey, what'd be funny is if we got a knife and cut the waterbed open and drain all the water out. And so they did that. The Z made it right up the hill, like no problem.
Of course.
And the 4Runner, did fine, put it in low range and just crawled right up. So they get up to this hill and they're like, okay, well, that's a wrap for today. Who does? They're like, you think it'll be okay for these vehicles just to leave up here till tomorrow? And we're like, while we're at the hotel, because they're supposed to be camping up there. And I'm like, well, I had my mega cab Cummins at that time. And I'm like, well, I'll just stay up here. Like, that's fine. I was planning on camping anyways. And they're like, what? Really? I'm like, yeah, I got to get up, early and, try to figure something out with this van so you guys can film with it all day tomorrow. And they're like, okay, well, yeah, if you want to do that. And I'm like, well, what time are you going to be back to start filming? They're like, oh, first thing in the morning, probably around noon. So, oh, okay. Well, I guess I don't have to get up
time.
The crack of dawn. So, I got up in the morning, made a mountain house, and had some breakfast, and I had a cardboard, like an air mattress that they had in one of the vehicles. And so I cut it and built a fan shroud for that van. Adjusted the carburetor. Oh, also the starter relay went out in it. So I actually still have the screwdriver that I had to have for Dax to jump it and start the starter relay.
Terminals.
Yeah, so it still has the little burn marks on it and everything. I just frame it. But,
that's awesome.
So I actually have a picture somewhere that I think Nina took of me explaining to Dax like everything that I did to his van to try to make it for the rest of the day and show him how to start the van and all that. And then I think for the 4Runner, I think it threw a power steering belt, so I had to put a belt on it. And I didn't have to touch the Z. The Z, like I said, it did.
Oh yeah, dude.
It did fine throughout the entire thing.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And so the end of the day, they like the final scene is they're kind of racing to the middle of this big like dry lake bed at the cinders, and so they film it, do their thing. They're all like, okay, well, we want to get a few more takes of this last run. We want to get some drone footage and everything. And they're like, Josh, can you get the van running? I'm like, yeah, I'll try. Like, it's pretty cooked, but I got it running. And they're all like, hey, well, do you mind driving it? I'm like, sure. So I get in it, hop, and go around. And so I took like a really terrible like cell phone video inside, but like we're going, and I have some of the footage of me driving it, bombing it. Just everything's bouncing around in this old van, doing the middle. So it was just a cool experience. And like I said,
yeah,
for just regular car
That is
mechanic.
sick.
Like it's something cool to do.
Is this the 350 right here?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh, that's tight.
That's it. Yeah.
I love the bumper on that, the bumper cut. That's
Yeah.
so sick.
No, it was a cool rig. I think actually one of the people that worked on set said he was gonna do what he could to get it, because it was cool. It had nice exhaust on it. Like it was nuts.
Yeah, when I went and helped film that Car Trek episode, Freddie Hernandez Tavares on YouTube, he was like, "Do you want this Audi?" Because he picked an Audi for the episode, and I was like, "Dude, I have literally no way to get it 3.5 hours back home. Otherwise, I'd be all over that." He did like a Harlequin paint job with all the different color panels and Rhino lined it.
Yeah.
It's somewhere now. I don't know I can't remember who bought it, but I probably should have just bought it and stored it somewhere and come back for it, but it is what it is.
But yeah, so I mean, that was one of my claim to fame, even though like I'm not like in any credits or anything like that, but I have pictures, so
that's so tight.
Yeah, it was pretty. And then they did like a kind of like a little bonus extras, because like the only way to watch it was you had to have, you know, their Motor Trend streaming service, to watch it. So it was never like aired on regular TV or anything. I think you can watch it now, like still like on YouTube with a subscription or something like that. But they did like a little extra, and they have me, you know, they did one of me like talking about, you know, explaining what I had to do, build the fan shroud and all that stuff. So it was cool.
That's
all of them,
cool.
Everyone was really cool. Like, you know, it was still like that. Like I have like a, you know, a neck handkerchief because it was, you know, middle COVID. So
yeah.
The only one who was really weird, like Rob Corday, was a little like, if you touched his car, you had a fully like Lysol. But I mean, I get it. Like, I mean, he's for as much as those guys go around, but you know, Dax was awesome. You know, I didn't talk with him a whole lot, but yeah,
that's tight.
But, yeah.
Oh man, hey, let me ask you. I've got a question that kind of popped in my head. What are some misconceptions about Subarus now that you've kind of driven them, you've beat the piss out of them, you've built them? Are there any weird misconceptions that you think
I mean, I think there's
about them?
A lot of misconceptions about them. You know, like, you know, I was definitely one of those people that had those misconceptions about them.
Me too.
You know, it was never like, dude, like, you know, my buddy was like, man, Subarus, like, they're awesome. I'm like, what are you on, man? Like, they're like
grandma lesbo cars.
Yeah. Like, you know, they're not what, you know, I would like ever be driving. And like I said, I bought that little 03 with 300 and some thousand miles on it. And man, I drove it to Phoenix, and like, I mean, it was just a nice, good little running car. And it's honestly, with everything I've owned, with the 4Runners, the Ram trucks, everything, the most fun I've ever had being off-road is in that Subaru. Like,
same.
It's insane. Like, I like going fast. I mean, you can do that. Like, Johnson Valley in a big 06 mega cab Cummins. I mean, just motion of the ocean the whole time. It's insane. Like, I hated Johnson Valley. I mean, it's still not my favorite place, but you know, you can go through the whoops a little bit quicker. Not like, you know, there was one time I was in a side-by-side at Johnson Valley, and we're going next to Carrie in her Outback when she did it 2 years ago. And I mean, she has her full, you know, coil-over suspension, and she's just going right through it. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going to be hitting bump stops every single time. Like, I'd love to do coilovers, but I can't see spending just as much as I've spent on the entire car on just, you know, four corners of the vehicle. Like,
I mean, I think you've proven that relatively off-the-shelf parts can provide almost the same experience.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
that's my opinion.
I'm gonna do one thing that Carrie told me about when I'm putting the springs and stuff on is going with the Kong dog toy bump stops.
Okay.
So I'm gonna order some of those and put those on because I smack my bump stops pretty darn hard right now, like
Mm-hmm.
especially when I hit a washout, and I'm always but like it does that. I'm like, man, something's messed up, and I take my hands off the wheel for a second. I'm like, yeah, it's straight, it's good. Or like sometimes you hit it and it's like a little crooked, and then you hit something else and it's back straight, and you're like, okay, there you go, like it's good to go.
Can you explain those upgraded bump stops? Are they softer? Are they bigger?
I think they're
What's
just more like progressive.
okay?
So I mean that's exactly like I first she told me get Kongs. So like I'm putting in Google Kong bump stops, and nothing's coming up. Oh, what the heck? And then I look, and someone says Kong dog toy. I'm like, well, that looks a lot like a bump stop. And I message Carrie. I'm like, are you talking about Kong dog toy bump stops for use for bump stops? And she's all, yeah. And so I'm like, oh, okay. Like,
Is it
I
a
guess
literal
so.
dog toy?
It's a literal dog toy. Like, if you look up Kong dog toy, they're a little like they look like a little like snowman, and you just cut the top.
Put
I
it.
guess,
Oh.
yeah, she's running them on. I know she has them on Mountain Subi. Um, I think Milton's running them too, and then they had them on the hybrid Forester that she ran in the rally this year. So I think they mainly have used them on the coilovers, but they
Dude,
should work just the same on the. So she's interested to see how they work for me.
yeah, I'm
Um,
looking at them right now. That's
yeah,
so funny, dude.
it's insane, but yeah, they're just a thick, rubber. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, they're
Yeah.
nice. They're progressive. The more you compress
Mm-hmm.
it, the more stiffer it's gonna get. Um,
Yeah. No, you're right. It does look
yeah,
exactly like a snowman.
yeah,
A red snowman.
yeah, yeah. It's funny. So I'm gonna try that out. So for next year, I definitely want to. So I carry a lot on my roof. I carry my spare.
Okay.
And I just have a Yakima on there. I do have 3 cross rails on my rack. I got an extra cross rail from Richard, my
Yeah.
Subaru guy.
I was doing the same for a while. I
Yeah.
threw another crossbar on there.
So, but I have every single year. So I carry my spare tire. I have an awning. I have my roto packs with 3 gallons of fuel. Um, I have a full set of 4 max tracks up there. I have, which was probably one of the heaviest additions. I got a 3-ton Badlands jack up there that I built a mount for. I mean, it's really
Nice.
nice. It secures it. It's solid, like it doesn't rattle.
Okay.
But man, it's a heft to get it up there because I just stand on my rear bumper and just heave it up on top. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I carry a lot of weight. What I found, I hit bumps, and no matter how tight I crank, those clamps down on those rails, it slides forward. So one
Dude.
time I kind of went over a dune and kind of nosed the Forester into the sand, and that thing like my roof rack was like on my windshield. Um, so yeah, and it's every year, like even just going over normal stuff, like it just slides. So I definitely want to try to build. I'm thinking of getting like maybe like a piece like 1-inch channel square tubing and just run it along and make those bolts where the factory rails. Make them longer so I can bolt that and kind of build off of that. I'd love to do like
Okay.
sort of like a a lower profile, like kind of like the sleeker ones. I know there is I think maybe a couple companies that make them for SGs, but
They're so expensive,
yeah, I
dude.
mean it's nuts. Like I mean, if one of those companies would want me to try one out, I mean I wouldn't hesitate. But yeah, just hit me up, and I'll
Yeah.
make a video. I'll put your sticker on. I don't care.
Let's go.
um, but yeah, that would be one thing that I want to try to do for sure is make that. And then what I've been saying for the past 5 years is make a tire carrier, a swing out bumper on the back. And I just haven't, So I'm really bad at rally prep. Like before the rally, I'm like, man, it's July. It's
I'll
good.
get to it.
I get to like middle of September, and I'm like, man, I really need to start getting my car ready because I haven't even touched it since last October. So, so I need to stop procrastinating because I always do other projects, um, and really start kind of focusing on it a little earlier if I want to get stuff done and not have to just throw it together with like a week left.
I know the feeling, man. That's how I am with taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, me too on that. Yeah. But yeah, so I'd like to do, both of those for sure. But yeah, I think the roof rack would definitely help. So one thing I've done with cool with working at the cement plant is we have a lot of cement that we send out is done on, in trucks and stuff. So they weigh them. So I
Okay.
like readily have a scale available. So
Yeah.
before this last rally, with all of my gear and everything, the Forester weighed 4,100 pounds.
That's not
So
bad.
it was,
It was weighed down, but that's not bad.
Yeah, I've lightened it up over the years. I mean, first couple of years, especially when I had an 06 Cummins that didn't that weighed 11,000 pounds. It didn't matter how much stuff I threw in the back of it. So I definitely have gotten it down. So my whole compartment, my spare tire compartment is just all my recovery gear. I have my bubber rope, my soft shackles, extra tools. I mean, I fit quite a bit just in that little storage compartment down there.
That's where mine goes too, dude. Yeah. Right there.
I've even like got to the point like with my big like snap-on breaker bar, like I've cut like the foam that they kind of have back there.
Oh yeah,
they cut the foam so it fits in it like it's a little like it was made for it. So everything's secure. Definitely over 5 years I've kind of found the little stuff that just kind of makes the trip easier to get to tools. I used to have a tub that I just like that I put in the back that I had all my tools. Now I keep all my like 4 like tool rolls that I bought off of Temu.
Nice.
Throw them in the floor and in the floorboard on the passenger side because I don't have a passenger with me ever.
Yeah.
So and it kind of distributes the weight a little better because my failing Ironman 4x4 coils just aren't what they used to be. So I'm hoping I can probably put a little bit more weight in the back with those Rally Techs on there too.
Dude, ask them to replace those springs and then sell them.
I'll throw them on the daughters, but they probably a little too much for that little Impreza.
Could be, yeah, could be.
Yeah, that's pretty much like how I have, and I have a big Yeti cooler that I put behind the passenger seat that I kind of put in there, actually like long, so I open it up so it opens up like towards
the back
of the passenger seat.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you can get in from the side and get everything. So being a type 1 diabetic, I got to keep my insulin cold and all that. So it, another sponsor shout out to Yeti Coolers for our. I got that one from the rally. So
yes, sir.
It does its job.
I need to hear about that rear turbo setup.
Okay, we're going to the 98 4Runner.
I need to hear about the 3rd gen, bro.
Okay, so after before pre-kids, I had an 87 Toyota Supra that I built. It was a non-turbo 5-speed manual. It had a blown motor in it. Actually, I think when I bought it, it didn't even have a motor in it. It was just sitting at a transmission shop. Bought the car for like $300. It was clean. My buddy had a blown 7M GTE, the factory turbo engine that goes in that car, sitting there. So I tore it down. Didn't put like anything forged in it, but I went with thicker multi-layer head gasket. Did some things like that. Built it up, put cams in it and oversized valves, big old turbo, R154 5-speed manual transmission. Thing was
Let's
just
go.
nasty. The only downfall for that 700cc injectors, the only downfall to that thing was I never really got like engine management too well. I was just running the factory, which is I think good for 7 psi, and I was pushing 14 out of it.
With no tune.
It would light up the tires in shifting into fifth gear. So real quick, funny story with that. So I got it going. That was when I was at Hyundai. We didn't have a lot of hours, so I built that whole car like while I was at work. I wasn't getting paid because there was, I wasn't flat rating paying myself while I was working on my own car. So I got that thing going, big old turbo. I didn't have any exhaust for it yet. Like, man, I'm going to go drive this thing middle of the day. So I pull out, just running straight off the turbo. Just the loudest thing you'd hear. Just blast it around the block, bring it back in, whip it into the shop, close the garage door. Well, like 2 seconds later, like these cops come rolling through the dealership. Like, oh, we've been hearing reports about some red Corvette tearing down the road. I'm like, man, I don't know.
No red Corvettes.
This is a Hyundai dealership. We don't have any red Corvettes here. And they're like, okay, yeah. So that car definitely got me into some trouble. Middle of the, an undercover cop like pulled out in front of me, so I blasted around him real quick. And so he lit me up one morning, and I convinced him that my throttle stuck. So that was like I said, it definitely
worked.
was a pre-kid one, and the final straw was my turbo wasn't putting out the boost that it should have been. So I was headed home for lunch, and it changed from 25 to 50 miles an hour on this little road that we had. And so I crested that, and right when it hit 50, I just jammed it. Well, crested this hill, and there's cops right there. At that point, I'm doing like 95. And so I just see him turn around. I just pull over and wait for him. The one cop's mad, like he'll get out of the car and all that. And the other cop's like, man, that thing sounded pretty good. Like, what do you got done to it? So I'm like popping the hood and showing them. And this other guy is like, reading me the riot act. And
good cop, bad cop every time.
They didn't tow my car away. I didn't go in handcuffs. So, that was definitely that's a plus. But it was like, an $800 speeding ticket, criminal speeding. So it was a little rough, but so after that it was like, it's probably time for the Supra to go away. We just had, actually my daughter was probably a year old. And then we had my son on the way. So I'm like, I think my buddy has a 4Runner. I'm going to get a 4Runner. So I sold it. The day I sold it, I sold that Supra for, I think, $5,500. Like all that money I had into it, all that work I had into it. Now that car is worth like $12,000 easy. But so some kid bought it and he ended up blowing it up like not even a year later.
Of course. Every time.
Yeah. But so this 98 4Runner, showed up on the little help you sell lot. So I got it, ran it stock for a little while. My buddy was doing some things with his. I lifted it pretty quickly actually, but nothing major. And my buddy was looking at the internet, and there's this company called STS Turbos, and they were building rear mount turbo kits. And they actually made one for a Tacoma. I'm like, well, if they make one for a Tacoma, like, we could do it, but it was a $8,000 price tag or whatever, something crazy. So we're like, man, we can do this. So we go to our local parts store, eBay again, and find these TO4E turbos. They're $150. Like, well, it's gotta be okay.
And if it's rear mount, you don't have to worry as much about it spitting fins into the engine.
Yeah, for sure. So, we start going, kind of piecing together this kit. I actually, fabricated kind of the pipe that went from the catalytic converter uh, back, and it put the turbo back where the factory muffler would go. It just kind of turns up, kind of has a little 90-degree elbow there. The turbo bolts on there, and then straight off, then your wastegate's right there. I had a big 50 millimeter wastegate on it. And then you just run off of that and you continue your exhaust. So you run it. I mean, it looked like you had factory exhaust. So the one thing, we had to put a 2-inch body lift on it so we could put the charge pipe in between the frame and the body. So it was protected. I mean, you couldn't even tell it was there. We actually ran to Home Depot and got some 2-inch black, ABS plastic tube, and that's what we ran. It was nice because the actual inside diameter was only 1.5 1.25 inches, so it didn't have a lot of volume that it had to build.
Yeah,
it stayed nice and cool because it's it's running through plastic. And ran it up. It went in. So the only time you could really see that it had a turbo was we had a pipe, and you'd see it come up from underneath the passenger door. It came up and kicked out and kind of came up, so you'd see it in the fender well. That pipe, turbo pipe came up. And then we had a big 40 millimeter wastegate up on top, right there in the engine compartment, and then just fed it into the intake.
That's so sick.
Yeah. And the thing, with your turbo back there, I mean, it whistles like crazy. He's got some YouTube videos. If you look up, rear mount turbo 4Runner from 15 years ago, it's got to be close to 13, 15 years ago.
I think so, because you sent me the video.
Yeah. We were, some of the first people did that. And it was crazy. We only ran 7 pounds of boost. And the cool thing about Toyota, said the bad engine management with my Supra, is the TRD made it so you could run 7 pounds of boost to those 3.4s, and the computer recognized it and compensated for it. So there was no engine management issues with that. Later on, my buddy ended up putting a 5th injector that ran on your cold start injector, and did some I mean, he still has his. He lives in Idaho now, but yeah, he still drives that thing all over. Him and his uncle built paddle shifters for it, so he had paddle shifters on it. It was nuts. Full computer programming so he could control the paddle shifters and make the transmission shift. And yeah, it's...
What part of Idaho is he in?
I think he's in Twin Falls, I think.
Okay.
I think he's close to Twin Falls.
Okay.
They work for, I'm pretty sure, because I think he works for Twin Falls Hyundai up there. But yeah, I mean, he was my one. He had a nasty turbocharged first gen CRX that had a B6 turboed B16 in it that actually laid waste to my Supra.
Those things are quick, dude. Yeah. CRXs weigh nothing. Dude.
Yeah, he had a rare, I think there was only 10 accounted for in the U.S. Mugen wide body kit that he found from some tweaker guy that lived in this town by us. He's just sitting in his yard. But yeah,
let's go tweakers.
Yeah, so I think all he had to do was clean the car out, and the guy said he could have it. And yeah, it was nuts. But,
dude, I had a homie that had a I don't remember what it did in a quarter mile, but it was all motor, no turbo.
Yeah.
But he redid the transmission and did straight cut gears all the way up to 5th gear, and did pretty short gears, I think up through 3rd. Man, that thing would smash on stock STIs in the quarter mile. It was pretty sick.
Yeah, it's nuts. I had a little first gen SI CRX for a little bit, and it was pretty cool. I mean, it was beat. It was stripped down. The front fascia was all like missing, and I
Yeah.
just use it to deliver pizzas in, because there was a time there with working at Hyundai, I was also delivering pizzas in
Yeah.
town too, and the Supra was a little bit bad on gas, and people didn't really like the straight 3-inch straight piped Supra pulling up to deliver their pizzas. So yeah, I
Yeah.
drove that for a little while.
That makes
But
sense. Oh, dude. Well, let's see. I've talked your ear off for 2.5 hours.
yeah,
How bad was it? Were you nervous?
what? No, I don't think it was. I think it was pretty good for my first ever. My ever podcast. I think it was. I mean, I know that there's stuff that I was meaning to talk about that I completely forgot, and
That's
sure
me every
things we
day,
started
dude.
talking about and that got sidetracked and I didn't end up talking about.
That's the fun part of it, man.
Yeah.
It just conversating is super fun.
For sure,
But
man.
you're not the first person to tell me like, "Oh man, I don't know. I'm nervous. I've never
Yeah.
done one."
Yeah.
People forget they're even on it,
Yeah. Yeah,
just
for sure.
talking trash about cars. Is there any last minute stuff that I should be asking you that I forgot about?
Oh, I do carry like an onboard air. I have
Ooh,
a
everybody needs to.
an ARB, a little pump. It's just actually
Nice.
mounted. I actually don't even know on my Instagram if I have pictures of it. I should make a
That little
post about it.
blue ARB twin.
Yeah, mine's just actually
Yeah.
the single
Okay.
ARB, and it
Dude,
it
they work.
does fine, but it's mounted to the passenger side strut tower. Like it's
Okay.
kind of tucked down a little bit, and I actually put it's like a gallon little air
Tank.
tank right up above it
Perfect.
to have a little bit more
Reserve.
volume, but it does the
Yeah.
job. And then I know before we talked about my Temu purchases, my
Let's go.
my 8-gang
Oh yeah.
switch panel. That thing is awesome. Like I said, I think I spent under $80 for it. It's actually like RGB too, so I can change all the colors.
Yeah.
It's
Is it Bluetooth?
really
Like,
nice.
can you run it from the
No,
phone?
that one's no. I think you can actually get it in the Bluetooth one.
Okay.
But that wasn't a huge deal breaker for me.
Same.
But
Mine's not Bluetooth.
it has constant power, it has momentary, it has strobe, and then it has flash.
Okay.
And you can change all the like pretty much kind of quick on the fly. So if someone's tailgating, you can switch them to the rear strobes and hit them. But I actually I have the 6-gang on my Ram.
Okay.
And then I have the 8-gang on the Forester, and it's like, I mean, looking at it, it's really good quality. I mean, definitely the most bang for your buck. I've never had an issue with it. The buttons feel nice and solid when you push them. They got that nice little click sound.
Dude, they're all coming from China anyways.
Yeah, good quality wiring in them.
Yeah.
It's all like the solid state little control panel that has all the individual fuses and everything for so yeah, I mean it's a solid little unit, and it's a lot better than just the little toggle switches I have.
Yes.
So for lights, I got a Thierry. They actually make like kind of the factory ones you could buy when they first came out with the JLs. Thierry made like the off-road lights. They have a 6-inch and a 4-inch. So I have the 6-inch on my front bumper, and then the 4-inch Thierry lights on my for my ditch lights. They're really bright. They're really good, good, solid, tough, kind of indestructible light. I think Thierry is a company that originally made them for like equipment, like you'd have them on like a cat or something like that.
Okay, front loaders and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at their stuff right now. It looks good to me, dude.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And they were like, to buy them for the Jeeps when they were new, I mean, they were like $600 for like the 4-inch. Like, they're good, but I got them, from Nina. She got some prototypes before they really released them for Jeep. So yeah, I'm running those. Just like my front Fogs, since I got the Ranger bumper, got rid of my fog, so I just got some off of Timu, some little lights that actually do white and amber, so I can switch those. I can strobe
Okay.
those. I keep the regular lights are my fogs. I just keep that on my regular fog switch, and then I have the amber controlled by my switch panel, and then I have rear dust lights that I run on top of my
Yeah,
rack. Just some yellow dust
dude.
lights that I can strobe or keep solid on.
Chase lights are super,
So yeah,
super
for
nice.
sure.
I appreciate them in the summer when we're doing
Yeah.
runs and it's dusty.
Yeah. And then
That's
I
what's up.
do one other thing I have on my roof rack is I have just a little solar panel
Okay.
that I have running up there. It's nothing like major or big. It just kind of keeps everything topped off.
Okay.
Especially like I'd be out sitting for like 8 hours at a time, running my my Android 9-inch tablet stereo
Mm-hmm.
for running the tracking for the rally, and then my phone and everything. Also with the rally, we do the past couple of years we have Starlink, so I have Starlink mounted on
Oh yeah.
to the Subaru, so it's pretty awesome going 60, 70 miles an hour in the middle of nowhere, Nevada, and have full internet, be able to
Yeah.
stream music or anything. Like
Heck
it's
yeah.
just it's insane. It's a game changer for sure.
Yeah.
Going from just sitting out in the desert until someone rolls up to your checkpoint, rather than being able to track live and
Yeah.
see where everyone's at.
You can even check your local parts store eBay
Yeah,
in the
I
middle of
can
nowhere.
shop for upgrades of my Timu
Yeah.
and eBay warehouse.
Yeah. That's sick, man. I love it. Well, dude, I appreciate you doing this. This was sick.
Yeah, man, it was cool. Like I said,
Yeah.
hopefully I don't ramble too much. And
That's, like I said, man, that's half the fun.
yeah, yeah.
Where can people find you on the interwebs?
So I just pretty much just have an Instagram, just Subi Raptor. Um,
Any
that's just got
underscores?
my nope, just all one word,
Perfect.
Subi Raptor. Um, like I said, if anyone wants me to put stuff through the ringer of the Rebelle, you can ship it my way, and I'll test it out. But I mean, it saves me some time of building it because
Yeah. Let's go, dude. Well, thanks for sharing all this stuff, man. I think people are gonna enjoy this.
well, thanks. Yeah, like I said, I definitely enjoyed doing it.